in the quiet at night, with my heart laid bare, something stirring inside, like a silent prayer. You gave me this flame, a purpose divine. Lord, help me remain in your design. Keep my lamp burning, oh, keep my lamp burning right, keep my lamp burning, oh, till I see your light, till I see your light. Every moment I breathe, every step that I take, all the truth I believe, all the choices I make, you fill me with grace, a vessel refined. Now I see your face, lead out behind. Keep my lamp burning, oh, keep my lamp.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. We are joined by Luca and PJ. Obviously, PJ is just away for a few minutes, but it's good to see you guys. I hope you're doing well, Luca.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Cool. And it's good to see everybody in the YouTube lands. Be great if you guys do us a favor and hit the likes and share the show and let everybody know we are live. Yeah. So, Luca, I had to, unfortunately, you'll see my stream from last night, the music, all the Jingle Bells music, I had to mute. So we're dancing to no music on my stream.
Sorry. Oh, well.
So we just
Well,
look like crazy people.
You can see it on my channel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Luca's channel with sound. So you guys can go there and watch it. But anyway, it's good to see everybody. Thank you for coming. We got the votes going. 36 votes so far. Earth measurements always come from flat. Yes, 64%. No, 36%. Not sure, 0%. So, Luca, did you know that all measurements come from flat Earth?
No, I'd like to see that though.
You can bring up any measurement. I'll show you how.
Well, how about you? Can't you bring up some measurements?
Yeah.
And show how they're flat? How they come from flat Earth?
Yes. Have you ever seen people do surveying before?
I haven't seen it myself, no.
Do you know how they... Let's put it this way. It's quite exciting how they actually set it up.
Do they just put some sticks in the ground or theodolites?
Yeah, well, let's say they take a theodolite. How do they actually set the theodolite up?
I guess they place it onto the ground and walk a few miles and then place another one or something.
No, they set it up level. And then all their measurements are based off of that reference datum, which is a horizontal level, aka flat Earth. And then they measure slope and incline angles.
Well, hold on. What do you think level means?
Equidistant. It's always equidistant to all places.
Or maybe I should ask, can curve be level?
No. That's an oxymoron. because a level is no place higher or lower than another, and because a level requires to be horizontal, you can't have higher or lower than the other.
So what if it's a ball though? What if it's a circle and you place one right here and you place one right here? I mean, that's no place higher or lower than the other one because it's a circle, and if you follow the trajectory of this one, it'll eventually reach this one, which would be level to it, since it's no place higher or lower than it. So this is level on a ball. Where my two fingers are would be considered level to each other on a circle.
Okay,
Or
but
here,
look
or
at
here.
let's actually go through the definition from level. Then I think that will make it easier for everybody. Correct?
Basically,
Sean Hawkins
anywhere
says
on
he
a
can come explain spherical
globe
axis to us.
is level.
No, that's not level. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Why is all these adverts, man, so much?
Nearly done. I'm nearly done.
Okay, anyway. Level. Let's look at the noun. A device for establishing a horizontal line or plane by means of a bubble in a liquid that shows adjustment to the horizontal by the movement of the center of a slightly bowed glass tube. Obviously, you've seen a level before. So,
Well, like a bubble level?
like an auto level, bubble level, yeah.
Like there's little
A
tubes with
spirit
the
level, yeah.
little bubble in them.
Yeah, actually got a little small one right here.
Yeah, that's it. That's a level,
See?
yeah.
That will tell you what level is when the bubble sits perfectly in the middle. So in other words, it's perpendicular to vertical, the horizontal. So as soon as the horizontal is perpendicular to vertical, you have level.
If you place one on the surface of the Earth, the bubble will remain center, right? In the middle. If you go to another place on the Earth and then place down another one, the bubble will be in the middle. Center. Same as the other one you placed. So, even though it's a ball, they're both level. They both say level.
Well, we're going to carry on because it does get more in depth of level, which is really awesome. I just want to ask, do horizontal lines curve though?
Do horizontal lines curve? No.
Okay, cool. Okay, so number 2. A measurement of the difference of altitude of 2 points by means of a level. And we just saw what the level was based on a horizontal line, correct? So because it's got a horizontal line, you can base a measurement between the two. Let's say, instance, say you take an elevation angle. Elevation angle can be taken off of that reference of horizontal. Hey, Peter's here. What's up, man?
No, I'm just covering up the restream chat.
Yes, do that.
Just because I was in chat earlier, but just having a little back and forth thing with Sean. But I don't want to be in there when there's like a multitude of them. You know, I
actually saw a new feature, community, guys.
I noticed that. What's going on with the crimes and stuff?
I don't know. Community leaderboard candidate is number 1 with 175 experience points. Michael Kahn number 2 with 125 experience points. Sean Hawkins number 3.
Oh, Sean was number 1 for a while.
And Justin Credible with 100 experience points. He's 4th. So it looks like whoever comments the most gets like the most experience points.
I think that's what it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Because I didn't have any, and as soon as I put a comment in, it put me up to 25 points or something. So, yeah, it's got to be that.
Man, I should be fat.
Okay. So, I love this one. Number 3. Horizontal condition. Especially equilibrium of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface of even altitude.
Uh-huh.
So that keeps with the physics of water, where it says water seeks its own level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Water
So-
does seek its own level. Water
Yes, so
seeks
you would
level.
understand based on that, when water is at equilibrium, it is
What's
marked
the
as a
level?
horizontal surface, correct?
Yeah. So I'm saying it's no point higher or lower than the other is level. The only
But
thing that
here's
works out for is a straight line, a horizontal
Here's
or a
the
straight line.
problem, though. The problem is you're looking at synonyms of level. So you're not looking at level itself. You're looking at just synonyms.
But that is
No,
the
this is a
definition of
noun.
level. That's the definition of level, is no point higher or lower than the other. And on a circle
Yes.
or a globe, if you're following a parallel circle around the globe next to it, that's still not level, because one
But
point
if
is
you go
lower
up,
or higher than the other.
if you scroll up a bit, you'll see synonyms for level,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
So these would be synonyms for level, right?
Okay, what's wrong with that?
So it's not level itself. They're just synonyms for it.
No, but
No,
he
no, no.
looked
This
up
is
level
noun.
first. He
This
looked
is
up level.
what do you think a noun is?
A noun is like a place or a name or a
Yes.
name of a country,
It's
city,
describing.
whatever.
Yes, it's describing. So the noun we are going through now is describing level as horizontal.
A noun.
Adjectives
Noun.
describing.
Yeah, a noun isn't describing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just it's explaining. So in other words, it's explaining what level is,
I
and
mean-
it's explaining it through horizontal.
a noun would be the thing itself. Like
Levels an adjective,
I suppose the word level
Is
in
an
this
adjective.
context would be a noun.
but it's an adjective because it's describing something.
Yes, it's describing.
And it can also be an adjective. Level can be an adjective too.
And it can be a verb
describing
because you
word.
can level something. It can be a verb also.
Yes, and it can be a doing word. I'm leveling this thing or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be all three, depending on how you
if you think about the doing word, if you're leveling something, how do you do that on a globe? How do you do level something on a circle?
Well, yeah, but if you look at the other, if you look at it
Definitions.
as like a noun or another thing, then it would say it's no part higher other than whatever you said.
No part higher and lower than the other.
Yeah, that's it. That's what level is.
Yeah, absolutely. But on a globe, what you say is level is not, because there is a part
But it is
higher
no
or
part
lower
higher.
than the other.
But it is no part higher or lower than the
What?
other on a globe.
But it's not. How can it be?
It's a circle.
Yeah, so the middle of
is
that
no
circle,
higher
if
or
you've got
lower
a
than this
circle
on
in
the circle.
Luca, hold on. If you've got a circle in front of you and you point at the top of the circle, right? That's the top of the circle there, and then you point at the side of the circle. Is that level?
Sideways.
How is that level? Level is this. Is that to that, not that to that.
Level can be this on a circle, yeah.
How is that level? That's
Because
not level.
it's no part higher or lower than the other.
That's slanted. But your right hand is higher than your left hand.
If we
it's
were
not level.
doing 2D, sure, but look, if we trace around like this, we'll eventually hit the exact same point of height as this one. So how is this no part higher or lower if you're going around in a circle?
How is it the same height when your hand is higher than the other hand? How is it?
Look, on a circle, it's round, so you need to trace around like this. Oh,
Yes.
I hit this one directly, which means it's no part higher
How's
or
that
lower than the
directly?
other one.
How's that directly? You had to go round the corner. Well, not a corner, but you had to go round a bend to get there. How is that directly?
It's a curve.
And that's not directly then.
The Earth is curved, so therefore we need level to be curved as well.
Okay, considering the Earth would be curved, right? Then you can't have level on it.
Why not?
because level is no point higher and lower than the other. And what
Yes.
you're demonstrating now is 1 point higher or lower than the other. You're demonstrating that.
In this demonstration, I am physically pointing this higher and lower. Yes, but
Yes, it's
on
not
the
level.
Earth, if we were to like zoom in like 100 times or something, then you'd see that this. If this one were to follow the curve of the Earth into this one, would see that actually these two are level with each other. Would you say that this is level?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, on a curved Earth, if I go around like this,
It's still
would
not
you
level.
say that this is level?
No.
No.
You had to
Why?
go round a bend.
Because
You
as
go
Because
we,
we're-
as
down.
we,
You just
because we
went
can
down.
as we
explain why.
saw,
It
as
has
we
to keep.
saw, this,
No, Luca.
this is coming
Luca, is that a
from
horizontal?
this,
It's not
Luca, is that a
horizontal.
horizontal?
but this is coming from this.
Is it a horizontal?
Yes, but
Luca?
you moved that. You moved that. You physically moved that. So how is it still that? If you moved it straight out, yes, level. But you moved it down here.
But we're on the globe, so it needs to be
But we're not.
curved.
No, see, that's presupposition. You're presupposing that. You're not going by the actual
Okay.
definition of
You know,
level.
I think it's going to make it easy if we go on with the definition.
Yeah,
How's
do that. Sorry, Flax.
Okay. Okay. So, an approximately horizontal line or surface taken as an index of altitude. Okay. Charts were arranged at eye level, hence like surveying and things. A practically horizontal surface or area as of land, the level of the plateau. Notice what the key words are the whole time, guys. They keep referring to horizontal, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is the one that kills you, Luca. 6a. A line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would coincide with the surface of still water. Is that possible on a globe?
Perpendicular. So
In other words,
is
a
that-
horizontal. In other words, a horizontal and a horizontal. A vertical and a horizontal. That is perpendicular.
That's perpendicular. That.
this,
Yeah, that's perpendicular. Yeah.
a 90-degree angle.
90
Perpendicular, yes.
That's perpendicular
Yeah,
to
obviously
that. Is
you went
perpendicular
a
to that.
90-degree angle on a circle.
And what is it
You
saying
pretty
it's
well have a
coinciding with?
90-degree angle on a circle.
And what exactly does it say it's coinciding with?
I mean, you can have a 90-degree angle if you're going to the middle of the circle and then branching out like this. This is a 90-degree angle. Like
Yeah.
in like when you do the if you go directly to the middle of the circle, like this is the top of the circle, this is the center, this is the
I'm gonna
bottom. Yeah,
bring Sean
You
Hawkins' favorite
make an
favorite form
imaginary
of
line.
art. I'm gonna bring Sean Hawkins' favorite form of art. Paint.
What?
He loves paint so much.
Right,
The only
it's
reason I
funny.
use paint, guys, is because it's dedicated to Sean Hawkins. Just to let you know, it's the only reason I use paint. So say thank you, Sean Hawkins. Okay, let's do this. I've done this before, but we're going to do it again. We're going to explain perpendicular quickly, okay?
Okay.
Vertical, horizontal there. Oh, sorry. Horizontal.
Ooh.
That's perpendicular, correct? So you got your vertical and you got your horizontal. Makes a 90-degree angle. Okay, cool. So if we look at the definition, it's talking about all perpendiculars lie on the same horizontal. Okay? So in other words, all of these have share the same horizontal, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's do this like for your belief of a globe.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me put a perpendicular in. Oh no, why none of them match up?
Oops.
Of course, if the Earth was flat, you'd do a flat perpendicular. But since the Earth is curved, you need to do a curved perpendicular.
There's no such thing as a curved perpendicular.
You can't. How can you have? That would be a tangent.
You
That
ne-
sounds
you
more
need
like a
to-
tangent. But you can't get curved
It's
perpendicular.
You
Look
need
what
to
it's
do
saying.
the.
Look what it's saying. A line
You
or
need to do
surface.
what we say in order to
Look,
disprove what we say.
no. Luca, look what it says specifically. A line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines. Okay? And look what B of that is. The plane of the horizon or line in it. That's horizontal. If you go look at the definition of horizon, it's got horizontal.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you again. Are we able to get that effect on a globe, that perpendicular on a globe? The answer is no. The definition doesn't fit a globe. It, however, does fit a flat Earth. So there already is a big issue for the globe. Okay, let's carry on. A horizontal passage in a mine intended for regular working and transportation. A concentration of constituent, especially of a fluid, body fluid, such as blood, normal blood sugar. Okay, that's just, we don't really need to know anything of that right now. Let's go to the verb. What's a verb, guys?
Doing what? An action word.
Great. So look what it says when you're going to make something level. To make a line or surface horizontal. To make flat or level. Sorry, Sean Hawkins said earlier it doesn't say flat. So, Sean Hawkins, you can always hop in, yeah, if you want to. No, we don't live on the moon. Why is he asking such a dumb question?
Nice.
Guys, by the way, hit the likes. We got like 70 people watching. I'm sure we can get more than 18 likes. Please, please, please. You guys rock. And Sean Hawkins is still winning. Number 1, a candidate has moved up to position 2, and Michael Khan is position 3. Kyle somehow has moved up to 4. Hot on the heels of Michael Khan. The votes so far, 67 votes. Earth measurements always come from flat. Yes, 65%. No, 29%. And not sure, 6%.
So, did you take in gravity when looking at level?
Sorry?
Because that's what we say as well. We say gravity keeps things level on the Earth.
But that's the thing. Gravity's got nothing to do with the horizontal. Gravity is not going to make horizontal curve, in other words.
If
You
you
can
look
claim
at
gravity all you want. It's not going to change the fact that level, by definition, means it's horizontal and it's perpendicular through every single plumb line that exists. And
if you look,
perpendicular requires it to be 90 degrees. So if it's 90 degrees here, it has to be 90 degrees here, it has to be 90 degrees there. If it's going over a sphere, there's no 90 degrees.
I took
Perpendicular to all the 90s.
I took a screenshot of that and uploaded it to ChatGPT
Okay.
to see what it had to say, and it said, "Well,
I just want to say thank you, Godzilla37, for He says, get ready. And then he sent us 10 memberships. Woohoo! Really appreciate it, Godzilla. Appreciate all the support. You rock, man. Really, really appreciate it.
ChatGPT said what it was bloody programmed to say.
ChatGPT told me the other day the Earth is a camel donut shape. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Well, that's because it is, obviously.
Hey, look who's in. Sean Hawkins. What's up, man? That's a
wow.
surprise.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my.
How are you
Take a
doing,
circle.
sir?
Take a circle. Put a center in the. Put a center point in the circle. Right. It's like you're gonna draw a circle with a compass. Do that.
So from the top view.
No, just on paper on your paint. Put a point.
Okay,
and draw
okay.
a center.
Let me get paint
and
up
draw a
quickly for you.
circle. Draw a circle that's
Around it.
centered on that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to draw a circle. Okay, there's a circle.
Right.
Great.
Put a point in the exact
In the
center.
center. Yep. Okay, so we had the same idea. Yeah.
Now
Good
draw lines radially out from that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way around. All the way around. There you go. Make them diagonal too. Make them diagonal. Now draw another circle that's centered on that point that you're drawing on the lines from. That's
Is the
bigger than
circle
that, and the
horizontal?
circle- Draw
I know
that.
what you
Draw. There you go. Now
Is
are
that
all these
horizontal,
lines-
Sean?
Are all these
Sure.
lines being intersected the same height as every other one?
That's not
Are they
level.
short?
Sean,
Yes or
I
no?
want to ask you something.
It's still not
Are
level.
they- No, don't ask me a question. Answer my question. Is
That's
every one of
still
those
not
lines
level.
being
That's not level.
bisected at the
Still
same
not level.
distance from the
Still not
center
level. Still not level.
as that other line?
It's not level,
they?
man.
Hey,
You know why
John.
it's
They,
not
they're
level?
level at the point.
Hey,
at
Roger,
each
what's
point,
up?
At each point where
Hey,
they
Roger.
intersect that circle, they are
Sean.
level.
Hey, guys.
Sean,
Not level.
good to see you, man.
And
Sean,
each-
I want to ask you.
yes, they
You know
are.
why it's
They're
not
not.
level, Sean?
Not level.
You know why it's not
Because
level,
you're in
Sean?
denial. Because you're in
I'm not in
denial. Of
denial.
reality.
I know what bloody level is. I know
Sean?
what level is, Sean,
No,
and
you
that's not
don't.
level.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yes, I
Is
do.
it perpendicular?
You're proving it right now. You're proving that you
I
don't know
don't give
what
a
level
shit
it
what
is.
you think you're proving. You're not proving shit.
Okay, what's a
You're proving your
perpendicular? Sean?
indoctrination. That's what you're proving.
Perpendicular is the state of each line as in reference to that circle, not in reference to how you're looking at it, because you're looking at it from space. Do you live on space? No, you don't live in space. You don't live in the
Space
sky.
isn't real, John.
You live on that circle.
Get
You
real
live
now.
on
Get
that
real.
circle, dude. That circle represents the Earth, and you live on the circle. You don't live out in space looking at it, top down.
Okay. I've got on screen something for you, Sean. It's the definition of perpendicular. Can you just read
I don't
this
care
out
what the
for everybody?
definition is. 90 degrees to a given line, planar surface of the ground. Yes, that's exactly what every one of those
Okay,
radial
is a
are
plane
to that circle.
is a plane okay? Is a plane horizontal?
It is if you make it horizontal.
No, a plane's always horizontal. That's
No,
geometry.
it's not. No, it's not. A
Well,
plane
a
is
plane
not
can be
always
vertical or horizontal, but when it
Take-
comes to
take a sheet of
perpendicular,
paper.
90.
Take a
Okay,
sheet of
but when it
paper
comes,
and hold it like
okay, you're
this.
gonna have to listen a
Is that
bit.
horizontal?
When it
Is
comes,
it horizontal? Is that
It's
piece of
flat.
paper horizontal?
okay, what I'm trying to
Is it
say,
horizontal?
I did
It's a
misspeak.
plane, right?
Let him speak.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
explain what he was
Sean.
trying to say, dude.
I did misspeak, but I'm saying it's a plane. A plane is always a straight line. It's not curved.
Right, exactly.
So
And a
perpendicular
horizontal
always
plane,
needs straight
done
lines.
at each of those points would be a tangent to that circle, but
There's
it
no
would still be
tangent in a
horizontal.
there's no tangent in
In
a
a circle?
perpendicular.
In a
There's
circle,
no tangent in a
there's
perpendicular.
no tangent on a circle.
On a perpendicular.
Yes, there is. If the perpendicular is tangent to the circle, yes, most certainly is. So you don't understand geometry. You don't understand
Yeah, let's-
simple geometry that
Okay.
a fifth grader
John,
knows.
calm down, dude. Calm down.
Okay.
You shut
Let's-
the fuck
let's-
up.
See what?
Okay,
no,
let's
go
listen,
to-
if you're gonna come on here, be
Yeah.
respectful of other people's dreams and stop swearing.
Okay,
Look,
Sean.
tell
I know this is
dipshit
hard.
over here not
He
to fucking
didn't
tell me,
swear.
tell
He
me,
didn't
give
swear
me
at you.
orders.
He didn't swear at you.
Okay, Sean,
So
you're
let's
gonna
go
have to
back to
relax.
the-
Right.
let's go back to the circles, and I'm going to explain
Sean?
to you how perpendicular
Sean?
is in relationship to that
Sean?
circle.
I got perpendicular up for you. I know
Right,
this
but
is
you had it
triggering
up before
because
that.
level
So
doesn't
put the
support
picture
your belief
back up.
system, but you're going
Put
to
the
have to
picture
grow up
back
and
up.
listen, okay?
Put the picture back up, Flatzoid. Put the
I'm
picture
busy.
back
No,
up.
I'm showing you what perpendicular is. Okay, so we got
I
perpendicular
know
up
what
for you.
perpendicular is. You don't.
You clearly don't.
You
You
don't.
clearly don't. Okay. Look what it says. Standing at right angles to the plane of the horizon.
Right.
Exactly
Yes.
upright.
That would be a tangent
Being
to
at
the earth.
right angles given to line or plane. Is there
Right,
any curve in any of those sentences?
Yes, there's a line. A line is curved. A line is a
No,
curve.
there's no curve.
Curve is a line.
There's no
yes.
curve there.
No, there isn't in
Plane.
that circle you drew
Plane.
isn't curved.
Remember,
that
you already
circle
said
you drew
plane.
isn't curved. That circle you drew isn't curved.
Again,
It's not.
you said
Look
plane.
curved to me.
A plane is not curved.
If you draw a plane perpendicular to each of those lines, it won't be curved,
Okay,
and it
I'm
will
going
be
to actually do something else for you.
perpendicular to the center of gravity, and it will be tangent to that circle.
Just
And
for
each
you.
one of
What
those
again?
lines
Center of
that
gravity.
radiate out, each one of those lines that radiate out, that big circle, it's equidistant to each one of those lines.
You mean an arc? Is that what you're talking
You don't
about?
understand shit,
Yeah,
man.
we
You
understand
do
what
not
arcs are.
understand
Yeah.
anything.
We don't
We
understand.
try and educate you, but you just fail to understand. You
Oh
refuse.
my goodness! Can we
Okay,
have
I'm going to get something.
Uneducatable.
Wow,
I'm going to
You're
get you. I'm going to get
uneducatable.
something up.
uneducatable.
Break the paint out right quick for him and draw him what an arc is.
Yes, uneducatable is a word.
I didn't say it wasn't a word. I'm laughing at you saying.
why are you
when
laughing at it?
uneducatable, you numpty. I didn't say it wasn't a word.
Dude,
Okay,
you get
You
to
just,
talk
you just laugh like a you
You don't
you
have to
laugh
talk
like a
loud.
bully's friend. Did you know that?
Okay,
A bully's
this is
friend.
for Sean
Hey, listen,
Hawkins.
dude, I do not support bullies whatsoever. I was bullied at school, so don't ever call me a
So
bully.
you
You are
you're a bully.
You are the
You're a
definition.
bully.
You're the
You're
definition
a
of a
bully,
bully. You're a
DJ.
troll. You're a
You're a
troll.
bully. That's
Okay.
not brave
I'm a
enough
bully.
to
Okay.
do
I'm a
anything.
bully. I'm a bully.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sean.
Yes, you
I
are.
bully you every day.
Okay.
When do I bully
Okay.
you, Sean? When do I
Okay,
bully
guys, we
you?
don't. Yeah, let's relax. Sean wants to get a reaction out of us.
Of
Anyway,
course he does. And you'll
Sean,
get one.
Sean, I've got something
Come
up
see me
for you.
personally, Sean.
Yeah, he just projects all the time. Okay, so Sean, perpendicular up.
Come see me personally.
Okay,
Okay.
so I want you to pay attention, okay?
Oh, I beat the living shit out of you,
Perpendicular.
Oh, I'm sure
motherfucker.
you would. You would.
Precisely
You're the
upright
bully.
or vertical
paid to
at
see
a
it.
90-degree angle.
Okay, you guys are going to have to actually listen, it's not going to help if you talk. Okay. Precisely upright or vertical at a 90-degree angle. Do you see any curves there, Sean?
The Earth is curved, and
No, I'm asking you there, perpendicular.
and a plumb line is perpendicular to the curvature of the Earth.
No. I'm asking you, do you see
Yeah,
any
yeah,
curve
yeah, yeah.
there? Do you see
No.
any curve there,
No.
Sean? Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Well, if that was a surface of the Earth, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see a
After the
curve at
giant
this
pla-
distance. So
Plant
I've
was
also
watered
proven
for
that.
several days.
I've
It
proven
grew
that.
upright and drew a
Okay, so when the geometry teacher drew a perpendicular line, on the horizontal line, she created two 90-degree angles.
right?
Correct? You understand that?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay, no curve then. Okay.
perpendicular line on the horizontal line. She
Not in this
created
situation,
two
no.
90-degree angles.
Okay.
The cross is made of two wooden boards, with one of them placed in
Oh,
a
I love this one, the
perpendicular
cross.
position over the other one.
That's a perpendicular. Yes.
We'll put them perpendicular to
Perpendicular.
your frame.
Great. You see what
A
what
road
all this
in the
is
middle
based
of
upon.
another road. Perpendicular. Precisely
Hmm.
upright or vertical at a 90-degree angle. Perpendicular. Precisely upright or vertical.
So what did you gather from all that information there, Sean?
I gathered that you're not intelligent enough to absorb information
Okay,
that's
so
on
what
a
I'm
higher
going to do is
level
I'm going
than
to go back to planes.
Did you want me to finish answering the question, or are you going to interrupt me again?
Well,
There you go.
you're just
Now,
insulting.
all right,
That's all you're doing.
That's outside circle.
That's
What
not
do you
perpendicular.
delete it?
No,
What do you
I'm
delete
teaching
it for? What do you
I'm
delete
teaching
it for, Flatzoid?
Because I'm
What do you
teaching you
delete it
perpendicular.
for?
He didn't delete
Oh,
it.
you can't handle it. You can't
I'm
handle
teaching
it.
you
Handle the first
perpendicular.
one.
Proved you wrong. I proved you wrong, and now you just
I'm
deleted
teaching what perpendicular is, Sean.
it.
You see all these plumb
God, you're
lines.
hilarious. You
You
are
laugh
see all these
hilarious.
plumb
Dude.
lines.
You laugh like a bully.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
they're perpendicular to a flat surface.
Okay, Sean.
But those radial lines that
John, to make this show
that
watchable,
were,
you need to
that were
calm
on
down.
that circle were all perpendicular to those
Okay.
to that circle.
Okay,
That's
so
what you did.
we've got stakes in the ground. We've got now gonna make just the ground. Let's just say we got the ground here.
Mhm.
We've got stakes in the ground, okay? Now you would understand they all have their own plumb lines, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And they are all vertical to the horizontal ground.
Yeah.
So when we place, for instance, a horizontal level bar above, it's perpendicular to every single plumb line hanging, and it is parallel to the surface of Earth there, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. In this situation, that's not
Okay, so
Earth.
this-
that doesn't represent Earth,
So that's level.
right? In your
Okay.
situation here, yeah. Now
Okay,
go back
now-
to the picture that you
now
that
we
you,
do
that you
your-
erased.
Now we do your globe,
He didn't
Yeah.
erase it.
okay? Now we've got the Earth,
Right.
and you got all your plumb lines.
Right.
Oh,
each one of
those
those
plumb-
is each
is
one of
this-
those is perpendicular to that circle.
Is this plumb line perpendicular to this one?
They're perpendicular to the
Do
circle.
Do they share
To
the
the
same perpendicular?
circle. No, they're,
Okay, so they
they're
don't share the same
perpendicular to the
perpendicular
circle.
Okay, so
Right.
it's a different
that would be
perpendicular.
a tangent. That'd be a tangent.
Ah,
That'd be a
so it's-
tangent.
So it's not
And of course-
perpendicular
and-
then?
Yes, they are to the Earth.
No, it's not. Let's
Yeah,
go.
they
Let's
are.
quickly go look at the. Let's
No,
go
they
look
are.
at the
It's
definition
a
again.
tangent point. It's a tangent point.
Let's quickly go
God
look
damn,
at
you
the
don't know
definition
anything,
again.
do you? You just don't know
Let's
a
look
thing,
at the
do you?
definition again, so you can understand what it says when it says about
It's
a
hilarious.
line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets. Hence, everywhere will coincide with surface of still water. What is B addendum to that? The plane of the horizon. So guess what?
Right.
Can planes curve?
Those tangent lines that you drew, those red lines, those are all A. Cuts perpendicular to plumb lines
Are
or the
they
plane of the
separate
horizon.
or-
That
are-
each one of those
are
red
they
lines is that plane you're talking about.
Is it one horizontal line that cuts right through all the plumbs?
Yes.
Or is
Yes.
it multiple horizontals that don't share the same plumb?
Every one that outside circle that you didn't put back up, that circle, whenever it touches one of those radial lines, is hitting that line at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular.
No, but we are looking specifically
Yeah, but
what the definition says here.
but
What does it say? What does it say about surface of still water according to the definition of level?
show me still water.
Okay, let's go up.
Show me an ocean that's still.
Okay.
Do it.
I didn't say the ocean still, did I? Remember here, equilibrium of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface or even altitude. So water seeks its
Right.
own level.
Yes. That
So
circle,
when
that,
it's
cir- that
talking
circle
about-
that run around the smaller
Right,
circle,
right.
the Earth circle,
Great.
is that circle equidistant from the center? Yes
so
or no?
we know.
Yes or no?
So
Yes
we
or
know
no?
based.
Yes or no?
No.
Oh, it's
There's
not.
No center
Oh,
of Earth.
so
There's no center of
so-
Earth, Sean.
concentric circles are not equidistant
No,
from each other.
Sean. Listen, I'm saying there is no
what
center
you're
of
saying?
Earth. There is no globe. There's no center,
center
of
of
We are
Earth.
looking at.
No,
we're
the Earth
looking
has
at
been
the
measured.
definition.
The Earth has been measured up for over 2,000 years. Man.
Okay, you're gonna have to
Has it
actually
now?
listen when I'm talking.
Well,
I know
if you're
this
going
is
to keep
hard.
spewing
I know this
lies,
is hard, Sean.
you
I
and
know it's triggering for you, but you're going to have to listen when we
lie.
try and show you.
Yes,
You don't
they trigger me.
understand very simple words shown to you on screen.
You can't understand concentric circles, and you say, "I don't
know what a
understand."
concentric
Oh
circle
my
is, but
goodness.
concentric
obviously
circles is
don't.
not
Who knows what
perpendicular.
concentric circles
It's
are?
perpendicular to radials.
Oh my
We are not talking about perpendicular to radials. We are talking about level. And a level is perpendicular based on a horizontal.
Right, and the
It has got
horizontals,
nothing to
and
do
the
with a
horizontal lines
tangent
that you
or a
drew, those red
concentric
lines,
circle.
those are tangent. Each one of those red lines you drew are tangent to that green circle.
Is concentric the same as perpendicular?
It is when it's drawn around the Earth. Yeah.
Only when you want it to be,
Yeah.
correct?
No, when it's
No.
drawn around the Earth.
It's an oxymoron. You know why it's not the same?
No, it's
because
not an
perpendicular
oxymoron.
is a
Sorry.
90-degree angle with the same horizontal, where
Right.
concentric
That's
has
what a plumb bob
different
is.
horizontals.
That's what a plumb is. It's 90 degrees. A plumb is 90 degrees.
I agree. A plumb is 90 degrees.
To a spherical Earth.
And no,
Absolutely.
there's no spherical Earth here. But
Yeah.
remember what it says. Remember what it says here. All plumb lines. And all plumb lines meet what? The plane of the horizon. Correct. So it means they all have the same horizon line.
That'd be the tangent to the. That'd be the tangent lines that
There's no
Reggie
tangent
drew.
there. Where do you read
You
tangent?
drew the tangents. You drew the tangents on the picture.
No. We are looking at the definition of level. Your tangent has got nothing to do with the definition of level.
Yeah, it does. Each one of those tangents is level.
Where's tangent there?
You put the picture back up there.
No, we're on the level definition. Where is tangent on the level definition?
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen, of course.
Each one of these lines. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Oops. And we'll draw. See, each one of these.
Definition.
Each one of these lines is as a plumb line.
We know what a tangent is. We
comparison.
know what your concentric is, Sean. We want you to show us where tangent or curve is in the level, in the definition of level.
Doesn't level mean having a part higher or lower than the other?
Exactly,
Right.
Roger. That
Right.
does mean.
And
That's
this
what
point
concentric
is
as
not
well.
higher. This point is not higher than this point. This point is not higher than this point as compared to this point.
I agree.
Right?
But that's not horizontal though.
It is compared to the circle.
And it doesn't
compared to
share the
this
same
circle.
perpendicular.
Yes, it
Sean,
does.
Where they're sharing the
they
same
do.
plane of the horizon.
No.
Can you show me all? Can
all
you show me
plumb
all
bobs are
these
not
plumb
parallel.
lines?
Plumb
Can you
bobs
show
are
me
not
all
parallel,
these?
dude. Plumb bobs are not
Really?
parallel.
Are all plumb bloods 90 degrees?
They're 90 degrees to the surface of the Earth.
So all plumb lines are 90 degrees. So they do all parallel. Well done. Great. Okay.
No, they're not. See. Do you see the picture?
Okay.
This
let
is
me ask
reality,
you-
man. This
let
is
me break
reality.
this down. Are all plumb bobs 90 degrees?
Yes, to the surface of the Earth. Absolutely.
So all plumb bobs are parallel because they share the same
No, they're not.
angle.
No, they're not. Just like in the picture here. Are these radial lines, these plumb lines parallel to each other?
Sean?
Yes or
Sean?
no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or
Sean,
no? These are
based on
parallel
your
to each other.
belief system,
Parallel to
Sean.
each other.
Listen,
They're
Sean,
parallel.
based on your belief system,
No, I want you to repeat yourself. These radial lines are parallel to each other. That's what you
again,
just
it has
said.
nothing to do with the word
That's
level.
what you just said, Flatzoid.
Your false equivalence here has nothing to do with the word level.
It's not a false equivalence, man. It's fact. It's fact.
You know why it's a false equivalence?
See, now that would be a horizontal plane. That would be a horizontal
that's why
plane.
it's
That
not
would
level,
be
correct.
perpendicular.
And that's
It
why
is
it goes
level.
with
It's level with the circle.
No,
it's level
not.
with this circle. Yes, it is. Oh my God, you're dumb. Holy crap!
You know why
you're
it's not?
stupid.
You know why it's not
Oh,
level?
goodness.
You know why it's
Coming
not
from
level,
you,
Sean?
It's unbelievable.
Because you can't think in more than two dimensions. That's why.
Could you zoom into J and K there on there, please?
J and K.
Yeah, where you are, where you just met there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is C and J the same elevation above the surface?
Hold on. Let me make it correct. Perpendicular line. Here we go.
No. You had a horizontal line. Why are you changing it now?
Hold
You just
on.
had a horizontal line there. Now you took it away.
No, I want to make it precise. I drew it by hand. I want to make sure it's precise.
With a horizontal line. Not a curved line, a horizontal line.
That wouldn't be perpendicular to that circle, would it?
There you go. This is perpendicular to that line, and it is level with this circle.
Okay, now zoom back in again to
Okay.
J and L there, whatever now. Okay,
Okay.
so is J and I the same elevation above the surface of the Earth?
Yes. Yes.
No.
They have to.
I
It
think-
has to be. It has to be.
No,
Geometry
L is
demands it.
touching the Earth's surface, correct? At its tangent.
Yes.
Now, if you follow that horizontal
if
to
J
J,
and
is
K-
J touching the surface of Earth?
If J and K were on the line and equidistant from L, if this distance
Are
from
they
L
touching Earth's
to
surface?
K and L to J were the same, it would be the same height above this circle. Absolutely.
No. Does
Yeah.
K and J is on the same horizontal as L? Do
Right.
they touch the surface of the Earth like
They
L?
don't have to. They don't have to be to be the same
That's
distance.
for level. That's what level
It doesn't
is,
have.
Sean.
No, it doesn't have to be. They don't.
That's what level is, Sean.
What does distance mean, Flatzoid? That means some distance, some amount away from something. So how can something be the same distance from something if it's on it?
So, I'm going to
Can
ask
you-
you a very
can you
simple
answer
question.
that?
Do you know what
Can you answer
Do you
that?
know what planar geometry is, Sean?
I absolutely know what planar geometry is. We don't measure the
And
Earth with
according to
planar
planar-
geometry. We measure the Earth with spherical geometry.
Actually,
Well,
no.
so-
No,
Surveyors
it
use
is opposite.
planar geometry.
No, we don't measure the Earth with planar geometry. We measure it with geosurveying, which is not planar geometry. Geosurveying
they
takes
use
in
planar
uses
surveying.
spherical excess and spherical trigonometry to measure the Earth.
No,
So you
that's
don't even understand that
calculation.
simple thing, man.
No, that's
All measurements are
calculated
all
after
measurements are
planar-
calculated. All measurements are calculations. All
No.
measurements. Yes.
No.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
going to ask you again,
You measure
based
something with
on
a
what
ru-
you just
you
showed.
measure something with a
Sean?
ruler. How do they make the ruler? They
Okay, so
calculate its
Sean-
distance. They calculate its
Sean,
length.
Based on what you just show again, can you
Yeah.
agree with us that you are contradicting what the word level means by
No,
J
I'm
and
not.
L not being the same distance from the surface
From
of
the
Earth?
center. From the center. Yes, they're the same distance.
No,
Yes,
they're not.
absolutely. Yes,
No,
if
they're
you
not.
go. Yeah, they are.
Where they're the same distance. You can clearly see J and K is higher than L compared to the center of Earth.
But they're the same distance, dude. What the hell are you talking
The same
about?
distance to what? To the center of Earth.
Yes. This distance and that distance is the same distance.
No, to
What
L.
the hell are you talking about?
To L.
This is a horizontal plane, man. No, it wouldn't be the same height. But this here is
Exactly. Blimmin' hell.
this circle here.
See what I mean?
This circle is what we're
It's not like
looking
he knows
at.
what he's talking about and just dumps himself right in it.
Oh my God, you're dumb. We're talking
Sean,
about the
you just
horizontal.
you just
We're
realized
talking
what you
about
did,
a
Sean.
horizontal plane and a tangent, not
Sean,
not
Goodness,
something that's
but you're
equidistant all the way
changing
around.
topic. You're changing
Oh
Did
my
you just
God, you
realize
don't know
what
the
you did,
difference
Sean?
between a concentric circle
Sean?
and a tangent.
do you just
don't
realize
understand-
what you did?
You don't understand the difference between
Do
the
you-
concentric circle
do
and
you
a
know-
tangent.
because you
Okay,
like
you
to
want-
chat.
You
know
don't
you're wrong.
understand the difference between a
Because you know you're wrong.
concentric circle and a tangent.
Okay, you know what, Sean? Will you do us a concentric circle? Okay, on J, please.
Some concentric circle on J? What
From
the hell
J,
is
yeah,
that?
from J. No.
Okay.
The tangent hitting from J. Let's say go from the center of Earth,
Okay.
and let the point hit on J. So the tangent would be on J.
Okay.
Okay. Go
Oh,
now.
look,
Zoom
K's
back
the
into
same
L.
distance. K's the
Zoom
same
back
distance.
into
How
L.
about that?
Zoom back into L.
Okay.
Right, yeah. is that on the
Yeah.
same concentric as J?
No, because it's a tangent. It's a tangent. Because L
Because
is a tangent, dumb
tangent's
fuck.
not parallel.
Because it's a
Welcome to
tangent.
reality.
Oh my God, you're ignorant. You really are dumber than dog shit, Flatzoid.
Dude,
You
can
don't-
you
you
show
don't
us in real
understand
the
life on
simplest
the
thing.
Earth? Go ahead.
Is that all you got? Sean, is that all you got? Because you literally
I
debunking
just
yourself on
exposed
screen,
you as
man.
an idiot. That's all I need, man.
Really?
You're literally
Yes, I
showing
just
me wrong on
exposed
screen,
you as an
Sean.
idiot. But see, we can take a tangent.
Lose yourself as a gum.
We can do a perpendicular line here. We can do another perpendicular line here. Right there. We do another perpendicular line here.
Oh, so they don't
Dude,
share the
Sean, you
same.
lost,
They
dude.
don't share the same parallel, then.
No, they don't.
So
No,
not
they
a
don't,
globe.
because
then.
the Earth is a
well done.
sphere.
Welcome to
Because
flat
the Earth
Earth.
is a
You just
sphere,
proved my
dude.
point again.
Because
Thank
this
you,
is
Sean.
a circle. Oh,
It's over,
good
Sean.
Lord, man.
You've
You are
lost,
not
man.
smart at all.
You've lost, Sean.
But again, this circle here, right here, this one right here,
Get rid of it.
this circle is perpendicular to each one of these plumb bobs. And none of these plumb bobs are parallel to each other. That's reality,
Exactly.
dude.
So not a globe. Well done.
That's insane, is what that is.
See, that's
dude.
called
It really is.
invincible ignorance. Everything
No,
anybody
no.
says proves you right. That's
No,
invincible
what proves
ignorance.
me right.
Where'd you come
What
up with that
proves me
term?
right is
Invincible
exactly
That's a
what
lot.
showing
That's a
me
logic
Of
term.
his own one.
That's a debate
What's
term,
showing
dude.
me right is exactly what's on screen. There we go.
Wow, you really are something. You are a piece of work.
You are.
I'm sorry if the truth
You're the
hurts,
vile
Sean.
one. Have you heard your own mouth, bro? Have you heard your own mouth? You're so vile.
Oh
to
my
me.
God. Wow, you really are dumb, man.
See, exactly.
You
Projection,
do not
that's
understand
exactly.
a simple fucking thing.
Exactly.
You don't understand a simple thing.
Exactly. He's sitting
projection,
there
Sean.
calling people dumb. Nobody's saying a word to him. He's
Yes,
you are
you're
dumb.
dumb.
You are dumb. You're so
You are
dumb.
dumb. You don't have a clue
You're
about
such an
trigonometry,
idiot. I don't give
geometry,
a crap what you say.
physics.
You're rubbish.
You don't
You're
understand
crap.
anything, man.
You got shown up. You got shown up right here. And you can't even see it.
Geometry is rubbish.
You can't even see. You're rubbish. Not
No,
geometry.
no. I understand trigonometry.
Oh my God.
Not
Understand how to
bloody
get a
geometry. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, get up,
He's gonna
John.
die now.
Yeah,
Hold on.
3 lungs.
Shut the fuck up, heroin addict. Fucking junkie
Okay, I wanna
motherfucker.
point
Why
out,
look
guys,
like a heroin addict?
I want to
Ooh,
point
they
out
kick
the
him out,
reason
man.
he's raging so
yeah,
much
you
is
do.
because he
Yes,
Why
lost.
look
you
like a
do.
heroin addict? Oh
Yes,
my
you do.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you do.
6 years, bro.
If I
6
look like a
years.
monkey, you look like a
6
heroin
years.
addict.
6 years
Sean,
since I've
do you
been
know
off
why
bloody
you
heroin.
do you know
6
why you're
years.
getting so triggered, Sean?
Because you're a stupid fuck. That's why.
Do you know why you're
'Cause
just
wrong, that's
insulting us
why.
the whole time, Sean?
Because you're a stupid fuck. That's why.
No,
Exactly.
because
Because
you
you're
lost
a
and you know
liar.
you
That's
lost.
why.
You say God hates liars.
You're a liar and you know
You're a
it.
liar. You're
Where
a
did I
liar.
lie, Sean?
You lied about everything, man.
Like yourself.
Where? We did it
99%
live
of the
now. I
words out of your
literally
mouth
got
is a lie.
Like
I
yourself.
literally got you to say the things you said was impossible there. You literally
I didn't
said
say
and
those were
conceded what I
impossible.
was saying, and then I was saying
No,
I'm
I
lying.
didn't. No, I didn't. See,
That's
you
live.
just lied right
This
there.
is live,
you just
Sean.
lied.
You just
Wow,
literally
you're
said
an
it's
idiot.
not the same.
You
I
are a
got you to
fucking
concede
moron.
multiple ways.
You are a fucking moron. That's all.
It's
That's
okay,
all. That's
Sean.
all there is to it.
I
You're a
forgive you,
moron,
Sean.
Flatzoid.
I forgive you,
You
Sean.
don't understand geometry. You don't
I forgive
understand
you, Sean.
trigonometry. You don't understand physics. You
I
just don't
forgive you,
understand
Sean.
anything. And we've proven
I
it.
forgive you.
Jesus
I forgive
Christ.
you,
Now you're
Sean.
going to
It's
go
okay.
with that.
Your
With that.
projection is noted.
Wow. Wow.
What don't want you to understand about physics, Sean? Please go into some detail
you
when
don't
actually
understand a
talk about it.
fucking thing about physics.
Oh, nothing.
See?
Not at all.
Look, why did you have to
Not
put
a
a swear
goddamn
word in
thing.
with that? Why did you
Not
have
a
to put swear
goddamn
word in
thing.
with it? Why? Why did you have to say effing physics? Why couldn't it just be physics?
Because you're worth it.
Because you're worth it. What? So you talk about God hates
You're
liars,
worth
God
the
hates this.
derision.
God hates someone
You're
who
worth the
complains
derision.
like that so much all the time.
You don't
You're a hypocrite.
deserve
An
you don't
absolute
deserve a
hypocrite.
clean
Shut
tongue.
up, Sean. Your voice
You don't
isn't even
deserve a
worth
clean
hearing.
tongue
Not
because
worth
you're
hearing.
filthy maggots.
What? You're the filthy maggot. You're
Yes,
the one
you're
with
a
the
filthy
vile
maggot.
mouth. Have you had your
You're
mouth?
a filthy
Rose?
fucking
Have
maggot.
you had your mouth and you're calling me a filthy maggot?
You ever heard
Okay,
of
Sean.
projections?
You
PJ,
deny
get out of my-
science, you
Can I
lie about
dispel-
nature,
Have you had your
and you
Can I
mouth?
hide
dispel-
behind God doing it. You're a filthy
Okay, Sean,
maggot.
can I dispel one more thing that you said
You
wrong
lie.
again?
You lie about God's creation.
I
You're
don't
a
lie about
filthy
anything.
fucking maggot.
I don't lie
Sean,
You
about
go by
anything.
what God said about His creation.
Okay,
God's
Sean,
crazy.
can I dispel one more thing? Can I dispel one more thing that you said wrong as well? Can you please
Okay,
read
go ahead.
quickly read what's on screen?
Planar surveying, also known as plane surveying, is a method for measuring and mapping features on the Earth's surface, treating the Earth as a flat plane. Now look up geosurveying.
Wait, the reason I brought this up,
Look
we'll
up
get to that.
geosurveying.
Sean,
Look up geosurveying.
you know why I brought this
and
up?
spherical
Wait,
Exa.
I just want to point out there's two things in here that you said was not true that you just read, correct? Do you know what those two things are?
No.
First of all, you said there is no planar surveying.
No, I
Secondly,
didn't
you
say
said
that. I
they
didn't say
don't
that,
measure.
liar. I didn't say that, liar.
You're projecting your lies again. We got this
I
live
did
on
not
screen.
say that, liar.
I've
Go
been
back
paying
and
attention,
play
Sean.
it. Replay it, motherfucker. Replay
What
it.
I
Okay.
mean?
Okay, replay it. I'll
Replay
get
it. Yeah,
it.
when people lie about me, I'm going to cuss the fuck out.
See what I mean? But you lie all the time, Sean. What are you talking about?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You lied
maggot.
about me just a
No, I
second ago
don't,
saying I
you
tell
maggot.
lies. I don't
I
tell
don't
lies.
lie, you maggot.
I'm not lying
You
about
have to
anything.
lie because you don't know what truth
Bullshit.
is.
Look at the state of you. Look at the state of you.
Look at the
You're
state
so
of you.
triggered.
Look at the
you.
state of you.
Look
Look at the state of you.
What's
Go back in
what's
the
wrong?
tape. Tell me what I
Scottish.
said.
I'm
Go ahead.
Scottish.
Go ahead,
I've got a different
Flatzoid.
accent from you,
Go ahead,
so what?
Flatzoid. Play back the tape and say where I
You're
said planar
absolute imbecile.
surveying doesn't exist.
What an absolute imbecile.
it.
What an
Prove
absolute
it, liar.
imbecile. What an
Prove
imbecile.
it.
What an imbecile.
Prove
You're an
it.
absolute idiot. Look how
Prove it.
triggered you are.
Prove it.
Look at you, you
Prove
vile
it.
human.
Prove it.
Do you think God?
Prove it.
Do you think God likes this?
Go back and play
He
the
likes
tape.
what you're doing now.
Play the
You
tape
think
and
that?
then
Don't worry, he's
apologize.
going back, dude. You need to
Piss
stop
off.
shouting. Seriously, you're going to give yourself a heart attack, dude.
I know. You nearly coughed up your lung a second
Play it
ago.
again. Play it again.
Okay, Constantine Mayer, thank you very much for your £2. He says Merriam Dictionary adjective definition for level. Yeah, we're going to get there because that explains us too. I'm just quickly trying to get the timestamp of Sean Hawk saying what he said he didn't say. Thanks for the super chat, by the way.
Still waiting for an apology from you calling me dishonest in Photoshop. Still waiting for that, you liar. Because I proved I wasn't. And you're too much of a chicken shit coward to play the second video I made. proves
Dude,
that
you're
I
gonna
didn't
have to
lie.
relax. I'm trying to get that screen, that timestamp where you said doesn't
Did you just
exist.
come on to
And
chat?
I showed the video of you doing that, so don't sound lying because you were dishonest. Just like you've been 5 times dishonest now on stream. The only one showing dishonesty is you.
See,
Sean.
that's what a pathological
Wait.
liar does. Is he makes everyone out to be a liar,
You
but
would
himself.
know. You would know, wouldn't you? You would know, obviously.
Oh my.
See, I'd never say that planar surveying doesn't exist because I know for a fact it does. You deny that that's what you deny that we use geosurveying to measure the Earth. See, that's the lie.
Daddy kill rat.
Sorry, did you just say I deny geosurveying measures the Earth? You said they
Yes,
never measure.
that's what
said
you
all-
do. That's what
it's
you
all
do.
calculations.
I know. I said all
Geodetics-
measurements are calculated.
Geodetics
All
is
measurements are calculated.
false. We
That's
just
true.
read on screen, Sean, that planar surveying measures, not calculates.
A portion of the Earth, not the
so-
entire Earth.
But
Not
yeah,
the entire Earth.
No, you can measure
anybody
the
who's
entire Earth
able
with
to
a
find the
planar survey.
timestamp where
You
Sean
finding it?
Hawkins was talking about geodetics and stuff. I'm busy looking through it, but it'd be great if you guys get it too. Yeah, Sean Hawkins, you've literally owned yourself this whole time. Just
No, play
letting
it.
you know.
Play it, buddy. Play it. Then apologize. Can't be too hard to find, man.
Sean, I can quote you exactly. You said planar surveying is not used to measure the Earth. We use geodetic.
Right. Yes. Yes.
That's what you said,
To
dude.
measure the Earth as a whole, we use geodetic surveying, not planar surveying. So
you
where's
take
that
planar
apology,
surveying and
motherfucker?
connect it across the board.
See
dude.
what I
That's all you're
mean?
doing.
And
Horizontal versus
move
flat.
forward again. Move forward again.
Did I say that
Chill
planar
out, bro.
surveying doesn't exist?
Chill
Isn't
out.
real?
Chill out.
Did I?
You
Yes
don't
or
have
no?
to be mother
Shut the fuck
effing
up,
all over the
PJ.
place. No, I won't shut up. You're swearing on someone else's stream for no reason. Chill out.
I'm being called a liar, fucker.
You have been lying. We've caught you lying.
No, you didn't.
Umpteen times.
Okay,
You're
PJ, he's
you're
trying to
as
get
dishonest
distraction out of
as
you,
he
man.
is,
shut
PJ.
up. So
You're
you
as
lie by
dishonest as
calling
Flatzoid
you lie
is.
by calling everybody else liars. That's not lying. That makes you a liar.
Yeah,
You're
PJ,
a
he's trying to get
pathological
distraction out of
liar,
you, man.
PJ. So is
Yeah,
Flatzoid.
I'm going to mute myself because I'm not talking to him.
Cheers. What's up,
Hello.
what's SDMP?
Who's that?
How's it going? Sorry, I'm just looking for something.
STMP. Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
I wanted to see that adjective definition. Somebody had left a generous super chat. And
Huh? Sorry, someone left the super chat.
just-
I didn't see. Sorry, I'm busy looking for a timestamp.
why? What are we doing here?
Oh, there. No, I already read it out.
Yep.
That's the only one I got. Yes. What about
Mhm.
it?
I think they're asking you to go back to that dictionary.
And I said we're
that
going to
you
get
were
there.
using.
I'm just looking for a timestamp to show Sean Hawkins lied. That's all I'm doing. Then we can get back there. That's what I said. Do you have an issue with that?
Is that going to help him at all?
No, because he's a moron.
I think I think that there's a lot of agreement there.
You know what?
That's why
I
we
think
would-
I think
we
because
would
of that,
hear
yeah,
him.
I think you make a point. Sean,
So
I'll
you
rather-
can't find it. So you just
We'll
give
cut-
up.
no,
You
no,
can't
no.
find it because
No,
it's
that's
not there.
fine. No,
You
no,
can't
no.
find it because it's not
We
there.
live right now,
So
Sean. And
let me
it's a
have
bit
my
difficult when-
apology.
While you're
You owe
screaming
me an
over it,
apology, motherfucker.
I don't. because you
Apologize.
didn't-
Again, with the move forwards, what's the point in that? Why
Go
Go
do
back on
that?
mute, PJ.
Okay,
Go
well,
back on
Sean,
mute.
No.
I was going to move it a go, but it's fine. I'm going to look for it now anyway. Finish looking for it.
Go for it.
You guys can
Do
do
it.
yourself.
Do it. Show the world where I said that planar surveying doesn't exist, isn't real. Go ahead.
Is that
I
what we're
dare
looking
you.
for?
You just lied again. I never said you said that.
No,
that
yeah,
planar
you
surveying
did.
isn't real. You didn't
said-
say that.
You
What-
accused
what
me
did
of
you
saying
make it up
planar
again? Well
surveying
done.
isn't
Lying
real.
again.
Doesn't exist.
What
You keep-
timestamp
you
are
keep
you looking
contradicting
Exactly
for?
yourself,
what you
man.
said. Oh my God, you're pathetic.
Reality.
Holy
What
shit.
timestamp are you looking for? Not the part where you said that, or where he said that plane surveying doesn't exist. So what are you looking for?
He doesn't know. see, Flatzoid is a
So,
pathological liar,
What is
and he needs everyone else to be as
You know, it's
dishonest
not
as
really
he is
helping the
to
discussion.
rationalize his
It's
own
not
feelings.
very productive to just start saying, "Hey, he's lying. He's lying."
I've
I think
proven
Keith
he
is
is.
looking
It's
for.
not really
Listen,
a liar.
I've
guys,
proven
Keith
he's
is looking
a
for.
liar.
so? What did
God, dude, Keith is looking for a part where you said that you don't use
So-
planar surveying to measure the Earth. That's what he's looking for.
Did you say that, Sean? Did you say that you don't
No,
use planar
I said,
surveying to measure
yeah,
the Earth?
yes, I said that
Okay,
we don't
so
use
we don't need to
planar
find a
surveying.
timestamp because
You
you
measure
admit
the
that you said-
entire
that's
Earth.
what you said. Okay, that's fine.
You use use geosurveying to
There we
measure
go.
the Earth.
So,
So
he
Flatzoid's
did
wrong.
say that?
well, I mean,
And he
there's-
owes me a
planar
fucking
surveying
apology.
doesn't measure.
that's
Although
what
I'm
you
I'm
admit.
tired of
You
him
admit
lying
that's what
about
you
me.
said.
I'm tired of him making shit up and lying about me.
You know,
And then
then you
claiming
can
a
leave.
victim.
Then you can leave.
Geodetic
exactly, you can
surveying is
If you're
used to
tired of
measure
him
the-
making
Oh,
shit
shut
up
the
and
fuck up,
lying about
pussy
you,
boy.
then why are you here?
No,
Shut the fuck up. I'm here because he invited me.
I mean,
He put
if
the-
you
he
guys
put the
think
link
it's
in
good,
it.
He's a host
I'm
here,
here
isn't he?
to destroy his paradigm and prove what a lying
Dude, you're
person he
delusional.
is.
You're
Prove how
delusional.
ignorant he is to
Hi, Sean.
everything.
How's it going?
Cheers,
Luca.
Luca. Thanks for coming, man.
Later, Luca.
No, I think Luca
Well,
wants
What
to
are
say
you
something.
saying?
Luca
What are
wants
you
to say
saying? Why?
something. What? Luca wants to say something.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
guys,
no,
I'm still
no.
looking. It's just difficult
No.
to hear him speak there while he's screaming at me.
No,
It's like,
no.
Hearing two Sean swearing at me constantly is quite difficult.
Well, what are you looking for?
Oh, wait,
Flatfoot?
Mr. Jingles, I agree. £2 for... Hi, Luca, you rock. I agree. Thank you very much. Thank you very much
Hi,
for the
Mr.
super chat.
Jingles.
Appreciate all the support.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. It's Sean really wants me to get this thing bad, so I have to
That's
like
my
literally
money.
get 2 words going.
You give it.
I don't know what he's done to deserve that.
True, Flatzoid?
So
He's a lying sack of shit. That's
No,
what he's
what have
done.
you done
What
to
have you
deserve
done?
all this time that we're just waiting at him, looking through his screen?
So-
I told
What
I
is
told the
Flatfoot
truth.
doing?
Something that you
I
admit that you
brought
said.
facts. I
What's the
brought
point?
facts and truth into his live stream, and he's trying to deny that I did. See, he doesn't like truth or
Hold on.
the facts.
Dude, you're creating a lot of things. You know facts.
What's the quote?
The quote is, he said that you don't
What
use
is the thing
plane
that Flatfoot
surveying
is looking for?
to measure the Earth.
See, there's a difference between the Earth and a portion of the Earth.
What's
Sure.
the Earth and the
I agree
entire?
with
Words are important. Yes.
So it's just locally flat everywhere, right? Is that what you're gonna tell me?
He did admit
And they don't
Large,
use
like,
planar
just admit
surveying
that
to
you said
measure
that.
measure a portion of the Earth as flat. They
You
use planar
You
surveying.
can make the claim that it's
They
locally
use
flat.
planar
Yeah.
surveying to measure a portion of the Earth so that they can make it flat for construction. You think every place that they set a theodolite down or an auto
And
level
roads
down and
and
they measure it,
bridges and
it's
everything else,
absolutely
too, right?
flat? Do you think that every place that they do planar surveying, it's already flat? No, they have to measure it so that they know where to make it flat.
It's not exactly what they're doing with it, but
Yeah,
No,
that's
no, no,
exactly
no.
what they're doing with it. When they go out and measure a plot of land to put a building down, that land isn't necessarily flat and smooth and level. They have to make it level for that building. Why do you think they have levels in their toolboxes?
there are other reasons you would use a theodolite. And
John, you lost it.
we
Rick.
are surveying.
I think you lost the plot a long time ago.
Oh, did I?
You have. I have like so many demonstrations I can show you of non-sphericity of the Earth. Plenty of
The
observations.
what? The what? Sphericity of the Earth? What?
Yeah, the Earth is in the sphere, dude. I hate to tell
It's
you.
it's an oblate spheroid.
Oblate spheroid.
Not
Now
a
it's long.
perfect sphere.
And it's
No, it's-
oblong.
no,
It's
it's
not
about
shaped like a sphere.
40
The
miles.
spheres are perfectly round, dude. Sorry.
Right, and the Earth.
like
If
that.
you look at a picture of two spheres, one made oblate at the amount that the Earth is, and one that isn't made oblate, you can't tell them apart.
Really?
Yes, really.
Go take a picture of an oblate spheroid and a sphere and tell me you can't tell the difference between the two.
Do you know what the word oblate means?
Because you can
Any
the-
distance that where it gets shorter is oblate.
You can treat the Earth as being locally flat.
Yeah, because it's
Absolutely,
that-
all of
because
it.
it's
Yeah,
that
it's all
big.
locally flat, dude.
Because
You
it's
got
that
it.
big.
Because, if you were to measure like half a kilometer or something, that's like 0.02 degrees of curvature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
sure,
you can see it that way up to 1,000 miles in
at all.
circumference. But 1,000 miles is still all flat.
You can
Keep going.
disregard 0.02. It's meaningless. It's not even worth taking the 0.02 into account. So
Exactly.
you just treat
Sometimes
it
it
as
is.
flat.
Exactly.
Sometimes if you need to be really accurate, really precise, like there's that, I'll have to look it up. It's something that measures gravitational waves, and it's a perfectly straight building.
Oh, you
It's
mean
like
LIGO?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
It
LIGO.
goes under
Uh-huh.
the curve of the Earth, goes under the curve of the Earth, so that the light can
like
shine straight through.
Einstein.
And they had to take into the account the
Yep.
curve of the Earth
If-
to build that, or
if you were-
bridges.
If you were doing, yes, but that's like comparing Newton and Einstein, right? Einstein is way more accurate, and Newton is just mildly accurate.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
like
and if you're going to
it's
throw a football,
wouldn't
Newton's
bother
laws are going
taking
to
the
work. But if you want to put a satellite
into
into
account.
orbit, if
Einstein,
you're going to put a
might.
satellite into orbit, you're going to launch spacecraft. you're going to want something with a little bit more precision, and you should probably start using relativistic calculation.
Obviously.
Right.
At that point, you'd use Einstein's more
So,
accurate.
question for you, right
tools.
quick, gentlemen.
You use
Can I
the
ask you a
proper tools
question?
for the job.
So, what's the actual circumference of the Earth again?
3959 approximately.
Okay. So, wouldn't it have to have a certain declination over a distance? An exact declination over a distance? I think it would, wouldn't it?
What's declination mean?
It falls away at a certain rate.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It would fall away at the same rate no matter where you are, right?
Especially from a perpendicular to the horizon, right? Yeah.
If you've got a circle on a target that's about a foot across, and you stand back 100 yards and you shoot an arrow at that thing, and you hit it in the center, and then you hit it close to the edge, you still hitting the circle. Your aim, your difference in aim isn't that much off. It's the same way with that. It's so slight. The oblateness is so slight that you don't have to take into account the difference between north to south and east to west.
Thank you.
I could show you a picture of the Earth, and it would look like a perfect circle, perfect sphere to you, but actually,
and that
it's
is
a little bit more.
why
It's like by
that
pixels.
guy, when he fired like a bullet or something from 100
Do you have an
miles
actual
away
picture of the Earth?
didn't
You want to show me?
And didn't take into account refraction, he missed like 49 times and then got on the 50th one or something, proving Coriolis exists. I meant to say Coriolis, not refraction.
Yeah, I mean, artillery uses spin of the Earth and
Does it
to
really?
establish the firing stroke. Yes, you've been educated on this, man. Don't act like you're surprised.
No, I've actually read plenty of manuals that they don't take any account for it into. So keep going.
Yeah, they do. In the manual.
Yeah,
You can look it up.
No, they don't, dude. I have a manual right now. I don't have it out in my hand.
They've looked it up. They've looked it up on the show. They deny it.
No, we've done it ourselves. We
What's
went
the
through the whole
manual?
manual. We looked for Coriolis in their manual, and they don't ever account for it. Really,
Which manual?
spin neither.
Which
Keep
manual?
going. Oh, that Navy artillery manual for the most part.
Which one?
They're issued by the Navy.
The Naval Gunnery Manual, page 152 or 157.
Oh yeah, we went through all the calculations and all the latitudes and stuff, and they actually tell you where they account for it, and we never find it in the shots. You understand what we're saying? It's not actually used. You got the calculation, but they never really.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Sorry.
of course it is.
If a field
think I
manual,
found
if
it,
a
guys.
field manual says that they use it, then they use it.
I think I
No,
found
dude,
it.
like in their longitude latitude calculations for where they're making the shots, they never use the Coriolis. It's a 0 on it.
Are you
And
in
they
that
calculate-
fire control?
No,
I think I
You're
found
wrong.
it, Sean. I couldn't really hear because you're talking so much, but I
Nope,
think I
not
found
wrong.
it. Let's listen. Do you know what planar geometry is, Sean?
I absolutely know what planar geometry is. We don't measure the
And
Earth with
according to
planar
planar-
geometry. We measure the Earth with spherical geometry.
Actually, no.
No, it
There's
is.
Did I say
planar
that
geometry.
we don't use it?
Yeah.
No, we don't measure the Earth with planar geometry. We measure it with geosurveying, which is not planar geometry.
No,
Geosurveying
they
takes
use
in
planar
uses
surveying.
spherical excess and spherical trigonometry to measure the Earth.
No,
So you
that's
don't even understand that
calculations.
simple thing, man.
No, that's
All measurements are
calculated
all
after
measurements are
planar-
calculated. All measurements are calculated.
You're welcome, Sean.
So you're wrong. You're wrong. That's
You're
what
welcome.
You're wrong.
You just showed your slide. Well done.
He's right. But he's
No,
right.
I didn't.
You did.
You said it didn't exist.
I'm
I just got it
absolutely
for
right.
you live.
Showed you.
He
No,
admitted
no, I
what he
didn't
said
say it doesn't exist.
minutes ago. Can you look up the definition?
Of definition of level again.
We measure areas of the Earth with planar surveying. We measure the Earth as a whole with geosurveying. So you just proved me right. You just proved that you're
Double
wrong.
down. Double down.
That you
man.
lied about me.
Thank you, Godzilla, for your 5 Canadians, he says, put it towards a new case of tart blocker. Seems a lot of them got
Wow.
through via Sean's collection of crack. Thank you very much for the super chat. Tony Whitcomb, he says,
The only crack I like, is your
Sean, you
mom's.
say 3,959, which is perfect sphere, but it's pear-shaped by Neil deGrasse Tyson. So no 3,959. Exactly, Tony. Exactly. Thank you very much for the super chat. You rock. Appreciate it very
I
much.
said on average.
Okay, let me put the
I said
definition
on
up quickly.
average. Didn't I say on average?
It doesn't matter. It
Doesn't really matter.
There's no clarification or preciseness with your language that you could use that will satisfy that.
Nope.
But sorry that I had to take so long. It was kind of difficult listening over Sean Hawkins, screaming with Sean Hawkins.
And you didn't prove that you're
So,
right. You proved that I was
Can
right.
I ask you a question, Flatzoid? Did we not go through a whole bunch of manuals on the artillery? And
Yes, we did.
I know.
Yeah, and you all saw that the tables that they use to achieve a firing solution take curvature
No,
and spin into account.
they
They
say
never
they
did.
never get under very specific
There's another
conditions.
lie because it's there.
I
and
read
we
it
watched
live
you
for
do it.
Bob the Science Guy, where it says it never. There are very specific conditions, and they never meet those conditions.
When all those conditions are not met, then they do this.
And they never meet those
All
conditions.
those conditions have to be
They
met.
never meet those
Not
conditions.
all those
Sean.
conditions are met at the same time. So you don't understand how to read a manual.
The thing is,
That's
they
the
never
problem.
meet those conditions, Sean. So they never use what you claim they use, Sean.
You don't know how to read a manual, Flatzoid, and it's sad. It really
That's what he's
is.
saying here.
Don't know how to
These
break
are the
this
tech
down.
It really
cuts
is.
that don't require Coriolis, and he's doing like vehicle maintenance and urban combat and basic rifle marksmanship. Yeah, you wouldn't use Coriolis for that. Let's talk about long-range artillery.
Yeah,
That would
that
require
would need to take
accounting
into
for
account
Coriolis to get a
Coriolis.
precise hit on target.
Yeah, snipers would need
Let's,
to
for
account,
instance, take
yes.
what is it? That railgun. It's line of sight. Okay,
We've
it's line of
talked about
sight.
And it has ballistic drop.
what's so
The
funny.
railgun has
And I
ballistic
think
drop.
the further they shot is something like 200 kilometers away.
You've been
Pretty close
And
to
they
that.
have to,
you've
So
been
can you
told
tell me?
they have to
Can you
tilt
tell
that
me
up.
on a globe?
told
On a globe, can you see something 200 kilometers away?
you've been told that the railgun is susceptible to the same level of physics that any other projectile is.
Ballistics.
So it will drop over the curve like any other projectile.
There's no curve. It's
Yeah.
ballistics. It's got drop. I mean, I shoot rifles quite a lot, and there's definitely drop. But I've never, ever had to account for Coriolis.
No,
or
because you don't shoot
Earth
that far.
curve or anything of that matter.
Because you don't shoot that far.
yeah. A 5.5.
The furthest
A
I've got
7.62 round
is
won't go
about
far enough to.
1.1.
Well,
That-
I can
or
bring
you
you. I
won't-
can bring
you
you
won't
up.
use
I
Mark
can bring you
enough.
up. A record shot that's over 4. How far was that, guys? Like over 4 miles or something. And it was in the
pretty
air
far.
for
Do
2
you
minutes.
think
I think
people
all it was in the
that
air for
know-
2 minutes,
That's a
and
damn
they
good
never
shot.
counted Coriolis.
Do you think people... Flatzoid. Do you think people that go for world records would take
Roger,
more
mute,
things
you're
into
echoing.
They
account
don't take
than others?
Coriolis into account, Luca.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's
You ever seen a good ballistics calculator? Westside Girl
Or-
Reacts. One of my
in this-
viewers. He might be here, but his ballistic calculator that he uses when he shoots takes into account, uses it.
Let's, for instance, put it this
So-
way: the Kestrel.
Or
They usually use the Kestrel.
yeah, the
okay?
Kestrel. There you go. Right, and
Or
it
if the
uses,
world record they're going
uses
for
spin and
is the
curvature.
longest shot without taking Coriolis into account. That could be a world record that they were going for. Longest shot.
No, they
without
didn't specifically say
Coriolis.
without Coriolis. They just didn't take it into account.
Well, yeah, but they
No,
missed.
they hit
How
the
do you know
target.
that?
Hence,
How do you
No,
know
they
got the shot.
But they hit it eventually.
But all this, everything we're talking about here is inconsequential. The title of the stream is "Earth is measured flat." Show us your
Yeah.
measurements.
In fact,
Don't make
we haven't
excuses
got
for not
past- we
having
haven't
any.
got past the
Show us your
definition yet,
measurements.
Go to adjective.
We don't care about
Just
definition.
on the left-hand
We care
side,
about-
you're underneath.
care
Yes,
about
don't
measurement.
worry. We're getting to adjective because I just got to point out again, because this specific line here is going to take your curve liquid parts of water and say it's 0.
No, that's not what that will do.
Have you
As you
measured
saw in
Earth
my picture,
being
the
What-
image
what-
that I
what is
showed,
this?
that I shared my
I've been
screen,
through this
every
many
one of those
times.
flip
I've been
bobs,
through this many times. So what?
that
Okay.
outside circle, cuts through all those
Okay,
plug
Sean,
bobs.
we've already shown you lying down stream the
same
whole
place.
time. You don't even understand what
Same
perpendicular
height.
is. You don't understand anything practically, but it's fine. I'm going to explain again. I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
what does the surface
See,
of
that's
still
projection.
water?
That's projection.
What does the surface of still water do, guys? According to physics and
It has a
definition
radius.
of level.
It has a radius of 3959. It has a spherical radius of 3959.
Surface of
All
still
water
That's
water.
does?
what
Really?
still water does.
Surface of still water at equilibrium. Let's go more up, just for you guys.
Has a radius of 3959. Approximately.
What's that word highlighted there, Sean?
Still water? Yeah.
Horizontal. Yes. The surface of the water is perpendicular to the force of gravity everywhere on the earth.
So not horizontal then.
That's how we get horizontal.
two
We use a
curved
level,
horizontal
and
lines.
that's perpendicular to the. Yeah.
Dude, is gravity an actual force nowadays?
Yeah,
No.
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
No.
sure. For your
Yeah.
No, it has to
purposes,
be
it
seen
is.
as a
In-
It
force for
won't ever
110
do
years.
anything
Traditional
that,
physics-
that gravity
Traditional
isn't a force.
physics, it is. In traditional
Classic physics.
Newtonian physics, it is a
Called
force.
classical physics, not traditional.
Okay, classical.
It's a force.
It's not a
Mhm.
force. There's no science.
And no, Einstein did not supersede Newton because Einstein himself admitted that he could never
It
supersede.
forces things to move.
No, that's a belief. That's not science.
Gravity forces
I don't
things
know.
to move. That's
I don't
true.
know. That's not a belief.
I've been
That's
through
not a
this as
belief.
well. If you really want to, we can go
that's
through the science of why
obvious.
gravity is not scientific.
No, let's go to that definition there. Adjective.
We should do that
I'm gonna
because
go to definition. I want to go to demonstration, dude. Let's go straight to a demonstration of gravity. Let's get one out. Break one out. Go ahead.
So,
Cavendish is a good demonstration of gravity.
Yeah, Cavendish sure it is. Like the one they have
What's
at
the
Harvard, the one they show the kids. It's crap.
what's the hypothesis for gravity?
Mass attracts mass.
That's not a hypothesis.
Uh-huh.
That is a hypothesis. I
No, it's-
hypothesize
Yeah, it
that
is.
a
Statement.
massive object will attract other massive objects.
Okay, wait, let's do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Let me go. Put on screen.
Do you still think that a hypothesis has to have variables in it?
Hypothesis. Oh my god.
Do you still think that, Flatzoid?
Let's find out what he thinks because he's typing instead of talking.
Does your hypothesis claim the cause for something? Sean?
Hypothesis. Does it need to claim?
No,
that
it
somebody-
states fact.
Yeah, the cause is that mass attracts mass.
Okay.
There you go.
So this is a hypothesis. Let's say Sean's ignorant again. What is the cause for mass attracting mass?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Oh, okay. So your hypothesis has an IV and a DV, correct?
No.
Oh, so
No, that would be an
Hypothesis
experiment.
don't-
An
hypotheses
experiment
do
would
not-
have an independent variable and an independent.
yes, but your experiment requires to know
Right.
the IV and DV. You can't go to an
Right.
experiment without knowing what you're going to make
Not
the
an
IV and DV in.
hypothesis.
When you
Which comes
create
from
Not
an
in the
experiment,
hypothesis.
you use your brain and you come up with an IV and a DV.
Okay, let's do this again. You claim mass attracts mass. That's your hypothesis.
That's yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wait, wouldn't mass?
No,
well,
sis, no.
Hey guys, can I ask you a question right quick? How do you prove a hypothesis? That's what I
Do
want to
an
know.
experiment.
Can you go ahead and show me what
You
that
don't
is?
prove a
That's an experiment,
hypothesis,
right?
actually. You prove that you disprove a hypothesis, but you won't be able to
Okay.
disprove that hypothesis.
Okay, what's
Yeah,
after the
exactly.
hypothesis? What's after your hypothesis?
You design an
I don't know,
experiment.
man. Nuh-uh is pretty powerful. Nuh-uh
off
is
your
pretty
That's what I
powerful.
hear from you guys.
Design an experiment.
Design an experiment. Okay.
Yes. Experiment. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're
Design
trying to
experiment.
prove
What are you
something,
gonna-
right?
Now let's design an experiment.
Are you
What's
using
your design
PowerPoint?
experiment
Can
for
you
mass
do a
attracting
different
mass?
slide deck? It doesn't need to be on the same deck.
Well, obviously, you'd want to have. Well, the Cavendish
There you
experiment
go.
was
That's a great
designed to
experiment.
test mass
Yep.
attraction.
That's not an
Two
experiment.
massive objects next to each other.
Yeah, it is.
in-
No, he's trying to
design
prove the
experiment.
density of the Earth, dude. That's what he was trying to actually do.
Yeah, he
So
was
look at
trying to
Cavendish experiment.
calculate Earth's mean density. So anyway,
You
Right,
could
using
say
using
that
using the
gravity
force of gravity,
came as
using gravity.
which he was
that they
successful with.
accidentally discovered that mass attracts mass from the design of the original
Mhm.
Cavendish experiment, because they noticed that the two balls
okay, you guys aren't doing what I
moved
asked. We're
towards
breaking
each
it
other a
down
little.
very simply for you guys to show that your hypothesis requires the IV and DV, which you guys say doesn't. And now you're going straight
No, it
on to
doesn't.
design the experiment, which is missing some steps, by the way.
What are we
So,
missing?
I'm showing you guys that you have never
What
done
are we
science.
missing?
Okay, what's the first step of the scientific? The scientific
Two
method?
observations.
Observation. Okay, so let's
Postulation.
start from the beginning. How's that? Will that not be better? Okay, so
Okay.
from the beginning,
Sure. Yeah.
What a mess.
we're going,
Holy
we're going
cow.
to start with observation. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get this up there. Observation.
I guess the observation
Okay,
would
what
be
did we observe, guys?
things falling.
We observe things falling
Things falling.
Yes.
towards
We
the
can
Earth.
actually
Yeah.
observe things rising up from the Earth too, can we not?
Yeah, that's still going to come. Okay, observation. Things falling. What's next?
Okay. Well, that can be an observation as well.
What's next?
Sure.
And then we
But-
come up with a hypothesis.
Remember, Newton
No. There's something before hypothesis. What's next?
What? What?
Research.
Oh, do research. Yeah, okay. So read a book.
Yeah.
Read a book.
Okay.
Good
Sure.
idea.
Okay. And,
Research.
and what
Read
do
a
we
book.
find?
Although-
in-
Well,
what-
underneath
No,
research,
actually-
read a book.
No, research would be after hypothesis.
No,
Because you're just making a
You should do
guess. Then
research
you
before coming up
research.
with a hypothesis. He's right. But under
Yeah.
research, you need to write
Okay.
read a book.
I mean, in reality,
Okay,
you don't need you don't really need to observe things directly. You can just read about them or do a thought
Okay.
experiment.
Yeah, if
So
you're going to
under
do something in the
research-
real world, you should have something that you've observed.
Okay. Okay,
Read
so
a
let's
book.
look under research, guys. We're breaking this down as simple as possible. So we see, for instance, things falling. Great. Now, under research, what research are we doing based on that?
Read a book.
Read a book. Is that the research? Okay. And what
That's what
book are we
you should-
reading?
You should read a physics book.
Read a physics book. Okay.
Good idea.
What and what exactly should we read?
A physics book.
Yeah, but
You
what's
wanna-
that going to tell us why things fall?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
will.
does it have a cause and effect relationship between mass and mass attracting each other? Does it? No, I don't think it does.
If you read the book, it'll tell you that it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
It does. What does it say it cause? You can tell me what the cause is. I mean, just don't say
Bigger the
gravity
mass,
again.
bigger the mass, bigger the mass, the closer the masses are together, the stronger the gravitational
Mhm.
pull.
Okay.
I have masses right
Cause
here.
and effect.
Okay, I've got an idea. Let's do this like it's not gravity or anything's being placed. So this is now Newton. He sees things falling and his research. What would Newton's research be?
No, we live in the 21st century. Read a
I'm
physics book.
showing you Newton
Read
hasn't got
Newton's book.
science.
That's
You
the
don't have
book we're going
science.
to read, actually.
You
Hold on.
ascribe
We're
to
going to look
Newton's
that.
gravity.
Well, in today's physics, they believe the Earth rises up to meet
Yes.
objects and everything else. If you actually
Yes.
study physics, but you don't.
Read philosophy,
counting what you heard in seventh
Naturalis,
grade.
Principia Mathematica.
Okay. So what research did Newton actually do for things falling, guys?
I don't know. I haven't read a biography of Newton. Do you know?
Well, Archimedes' principle was around already
Ah.
then, so he could have looked into Archimedes' principle, correct?
We don't live 500 years ago. We live in the year of our Lord.
I'm showing you
2025.
that from the
If we are going to
inception
do an
of gravity.
experiment, we're going to read a physics book.
This is going to trigger you as well, just like it triggered Sean Hawkins earlier. You don't have science even since Newton tried to postulate gravity. And I'm showing you this. That's why we're going back down to the beginnings of your gravity belief, which is Newton. So when we go to Newton, which research did he do? Because I'm trying to show you he didn't have science for his claim.
I mean, his book, The Principia, is considered
Yeah,
one of
we've
the
read
most
it.
important works in the
We've
history
read it,
of
yes.
Really do. He didn't really do any
No,
research.
of course he did
he?
research. He worked at Cambridge. He was a physics professor at Cambridge. He read
Okay.
lots. I don't know what he read,
One
but
of the
he read a lot.
one of the greatest university of all time, man.
Well,
Not
I
bad.
can tell you what we can look at. Okay, let's see. If I was Newton, I would think, okay, things falling, and I know that we require a force for things to fall, thinking of the second law of motion, correct?
Yes.
No, he came up with the second law of motion.
I know, but this
He
that's
came
what I'm
up-
saying. But you would know. He knows a force.
Did he know that even?
Yes,
I don't know when that
he'd know-
formula came around.
He would know force. Look,
Isn't it
he-
mass times acceleration?
looking
It's not
it
mass
up
divided
when
by
other
acceleration.
things
It's mass
move.
times
The reason,
He would
yes,
know
the
a
reason
force
he
would be
thought
required.
gravity was a force is because he understood force requires a mass to accelerate. So he came up with force. He came up with the second law of motion before
F
gravity,
equals
did he
ma.
not?
You've got that formula wrong. It's mass times acceleration.
Yes, it would. It is mass times acceleration.
M agent. No, sorry, M agent. You're not coming in, misinformation agent. Okay, so we can say he's got the force requires a mass to accelerate. What else do you think he had for his research?
I mean, I don't know.
And
What books were
that's-
in physics
Archimedes
before
principle, you could
he
have looked
wrote
into that
this book?
because that already explained
prob-
displacement, correct?
Probably dealt with
He didn't
Kepler's
actually
work.
describe what gravity is.
Was Kepler before or after Newton?
That was Einstein. So basically, all he had was the
Yeah,
observation.
exactly. He just had observation.
all
He
he
was
had.
that's why
before
he,
Newton.
And that's when he came up with F equals ma.
He also
Because he knew
sorry.
there had to be a force that
exactly.
accelerated that thing towards the ground. That's
Okay.
it.
He also
That's
had
all he
he
had.
also had everyone that came before his work.
Right.
Yeah, like
He
Archimedes.
also had their work.
That's why I said
What
Archimedes
is
principle
Archimedes?
was there already.
What is that?
So what was his
1,900 years
experiment?
before him.
It wasn't until Einstein came along and actually described in much more detail what gravity actually is. Or was.
Sorry about that, guys.
Archimedes of Syracuse.
So Einstein
Okay, so
and
let's do this
Newton's
now.
like the
Now we've got our
PS1,
research.
and
We've got
Einstein's
our
like
Archimedes
the
was
PS5.
like 1,600 years before Newton.
Yeah, long before him.
So
And
he would have
Archimedes
more
principle was
contemporary
displacement
works
way before
to
gravity was
research with.
postulated.
There had been a lot of, developments since Archimedes before Newton. I think we should include
Gravity
a physics
was-
book that was maybe printed in the last 20, 30 years. That's what you should read.
Gravity was well known before Newton.
Okay.
I don't know.
Newton just quantified it.
Okay. So
I mean,
now,
Archimedes
Newton
principle
just put it
includes
down on
gravity,
paper.
so maybe
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
okay. So now we've got our research. What is our hypothesis going to be?
Mass attracts mass.
But a hypothesis is a proposed explanation for an observation we make, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Or a prediction.
Yes. This
Yep.
little mass, this little apple, if I drop it, it's going to be attracted to that big mass, that big
There's
Okay,
a
so
there's
you
a
say
quality
message-
of mass that attracts mass. That's
Okay,
my
so
hypothesis.
mass-
There's some
Okay.
quality to mass that causes other massive objects to be attracted.
Quality of mass attracts other quality of mass.
I don't know why you would add a bunch of nonsense language onto that when mass.
You just
attracts
said
mass
quality of
was
mass
great.
attracts mass.
You wanted more detail. You wanted me to say more words, so I said more words. But don't add those words there. Mass attracts mass is the hypothesis.
But mass is
So
just
mass
a
is
resistance to inertia.
Gentlemen, can I ask you a question? Where in nature do you see mass attracting mass?
When a tree falls,
No, that's things falling.
yeah, the mass of the Earth pulls the tree down to the Earth.
No, that is you. Remember, we haven't got there yet. You're making the
Yeah.
science now for that claim. At the moment, all you got is a belief that that's happening. You understand?
No,
They
I
got
watched
that
a tree
a long
fall. I
time
can
ago.
watch a tree fall. That's not a belief.
Yes. Yes, but your belief is that gravity's pulling it down to the ground, correct?
That's my hypothesis. Yeah.
No,
This
no,
would be-
That's the belief
that's not
of
your
90.
hypothesis. Your
That's the
hypothesis is
belief of
mass attracting
99%
mass.
of the
Why
people
Why
are
are
on
you
the
going
planet,
back to
dude.
step one? We already
This
did the
is the
observation.
hypothesis right here.
Oh.
Again, you are
Copy that
claiming
in.
your hypothesis is mass attracts mass, not tree falling.
That was the
This
observation.
is the hypothesis right here.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Oh my
Ew.
goodness.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now we've got your hypothesis. What is your prediction?
This is the hypothesis.
If
I
we
posted it
have
in chat.
a massive object free floating and put another object near it, that also free floating, that object will be pulled towards the massive object.
Oh, man.
That's a long-winded
the
prediction, but
hypothesis.
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
It's an experiment, and that was pretty concise for an experiment. We could write
agree
paragraphs
with-
and pages
It
on
was an
what we did
experiment,
for
but
an
okay.
experiment.
Okay, let's quickly do your prediction.
Did he say this is
Sorry?
a better hypothesis right here.
I still say under research we need to include read a physics book. Because
So you're going with a downward bias.
if you're
So
going to do this, you're going to need to.
We're going
to need to read a physics book.
We're showing you how Newton didn't have science for gravity.
He
That's
used
what we did.
for his
Newton
research.
didn't
He
have
must have
science.
used the people that came
No.
before, like Aristotle.
Okay, so
Newton wrote
Galileo.
one of the most important science books ever.
So Galileo, Kepler, and Aristotle. That's what he would have used as research material.
okay, so what predictions are we making based on mass attracting mass?
Well, we need to do design the experiment first,
Yes,
and then
we-
we'll make a prediction about what the
experiment
experiment's going to do.
Predictions part of the
So
hypothesis.
Flatzoid, where are the variables in your hypothesis?
Mass.
There are none.
Mass is not a variable.
A hypothesis doesn't contain variables.
Is mass not a variable, Sean?
We could extrapolate variables out of that.
Yeah,
Mass
you need control
and-
too.
Let's do this way. Mass is a variable, and the attraction of mass is another variable. You do know that?
Sure.
Okay. So you do know that the hypothesis has a prediction in it.
Yep.
So from there, you're going to make your experiment. So now we need to know what's the prediction in the hypothesis. You can't just say mass attracts mass. So now we got to say what is the cause for the effect so we can design an experiment. So what causes mass attracting mass?
Gravity.
Okay. Gravity causes
What is it caused by?
mass
What causes gravity? What is it cause?
attract mass.
Roger,
Okay,
needs
so what is
to-
gravity?
The thing that they had known that existed for centuries.
What is gravity?
This little
On Earth,
prediction tangent here.
At that point,
This isn't
he
best
didn't
practice.
know what gravity was.
This is not best
So we can't
practice.
say
Do you
what
have
gravity is either.
any like research or why
Prediction
are you
is
having
that's why I said your
prediction right there?
hypothesis.
When-
That's what I was telling you. Your hypothesis that you were claiming is not a hypothesis of mass attracting mass because you have to have a prediction in your hypothesis.
The
So we
hypothesis would be
separated
a
the
massive
two just
object
because you
attracts
guys
other
say-
massive objects. It's right there.
I'm separating it because you guys don't want to give a proper hypothesis. So I have to separate it so we
This
can
is-
make it
What do
a
you
full
mean that's not a
hypothesis.
proper hypothesis?
Because you guys are ignorant to what's going
You're
on.
ignorant. You think the Earth is
What
flat.
about every
That
mass
is not
attracts every other mass
predicted.
I told you
by
they're going to
mass.
get triggered, guys.
product of mass
Okay,
random
so
mass proportion
what
to
is your
the scrap.
prediction? What is your prediction?
A
Is
massive
gravity
object,
causes mass to attract mass? Great.
a massive
Hilarious.
object will attract another massive object.
So you heard that. Okay, so gravity causes mass to attract mass. So now we're going to design an experiment, okay?
Okay.
How are we going to do this experiment? How are we going to manipulate gravity?
We're just going to do the Cavendish.
Well, we're not. Yep.
How are we going
We're going to turn the attraction between the masses 90 degrees to the force of gravity,
Mhm.
No. But
So
you
that
got
the force of gravity is not affecting
IV
those
is
masses
gravity.
because they work horizontally.
Sorry, Sean. The IV is gravity, so therefore that's what you have to manipulate is the IV.
No, the IV is mass attracting mass.
No, it's not. There it is. Gravity causes, which is the IV.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
So how are you gonna manipulate gravity?
We're going to eliminate all other factors. We're not going to have any electrostatics. We're not going to have any magnetism.
No, that's control variables. We're not at the controls yet. We're at the IV.
Yeah.
How are you going to manipulate the IV?
That AKA is gravity.
By turning it 90 degrees to the force of gravity.
Using my hypothesis, the thing that you would do is bring the masses closer or further away from each other, and that should change the effects of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you haven't established gravity is anything yet. You're just claiming gravity is the effect. Is the IV. So we are trying to figure out
hypothesizing
what is gravity. So if you want to figure out what gravity
point,
is,
he didn't know. Newton didn't know what gravity was.
That's my point. He didn't know, and yet he needed to manipulate gravity to get his outcome of mass attracting mass. Do you know Newton never did any experiment?
Right.
Yeah,
because he couldn't know what gravity is. Because he couldn't. It wasn't
because he.
That's the reason why he didn't.
No, because he didn't. Because in those days,
because
in those days, there had to be a connection between two things to consider it a force. Since there's an invisible force, they didn't consider it a force. That's why Newton didn't put his name to it.
Theory was incomplete.
The reason
to this day.
The reason he didn't make an experiment was because this is what killed him.
No, it didn't.
No.
So how do you manipulate gravity? Go ahead.
You
turn it 90 degrees to the force of gravity.
That's not manipulating gravity.
You get a bunch of mass together and you experiment on the principles of what that massive object can do.
Using the hypothesis here.
That's how you do that, right?
Changing the mass and the distance are effects of would change gravity, basically.
No, that's then you're making the IV either mass or distance.
They are.
Those are two different variables. They're definitely not gravity.
I say
right.
This is
you can have one variable in an experiment.
Okay, is mass gravity?
Mass gravity is a principle, characteristic of mass.
What am I saying?
Or does gravity cause mass?
Gravity is a characteristic of mass.
Yeah.
You see, this is the issue you guys have. This is why it always boils down to gravity causes gravity. Because you don't know what gravity is, first of all. You don't know what gravity is, first of all. And secondly, you'd never manipulate gravity to make your claim. So you say the acceleration is gravity, which is caused by gravity.
This is why,
at that point, he didn't know what A was.
This is why your little predictions.
Begging the question, gravity is actually a force to begin with to even do this experiment, dude.
This is why your little predictions off ramp is totally inappropriate. Our hypothesis was mass attracts mass. With that, we can extrapolate everything else.
There's right there.
Yeah, you don't need the predictions section.
Predictions part of the hypothesis
is what you design in your experiment. In your experiment, you come up with a prediction for what will happen in your experiment.
That's why you have prediction. And your prediction is
but you haven't designed an experiment yet.
So how are you going to set up an experiment if you can't manipulate the thing you're saying is the cause?
You are.
You can.
Mass is the cause. Mass is the cause.
You said gravity is the cause, not mass is the cause.
Mass is the cause.
Mass.
Just delete the prediction.
Gravity is inherent in mass.
So it is.
Delete the predictions. Delete gravity causes mass to attract mass. Mass attracts mass. That's all you need. That is the hypothesis.
Okay, so gravity doesn't cause mass to attract mass now. Is it mass causes mass to attract mass?
Mass attracts mass.
So gravity is not the cause.
it doesn't matter what the cause is. Mass attracts mass.
It does. That's what science is about. Science is
Cause and
specifically to figure the cause or the effect observed. That's the core.
because-
That's the relationship in science.
Now, science is an observation of the natural world. That's all science
let's
is.
And
let's
it's to
move this
figure out
into-
how it works.
Finding out
Correct.
causes, dude.
Let's move
At
this
that
into the
point in
world.
time, Newton didn't know what the A was. He just
That's what
needed
experiments
to
are
know
for.
you need an A.
Science is an
and the
observation.
Okay, ocean waters do curve.
Thank you,
He didn't know what
LJ,
the
for your
A
$2. He says
Well,
ocean waters never curve, so it's flat and stationary. Thank you very
That's
much, LJ.
wrong.
You rock.
Boats disappear.
Yeah,
hull
that's absolutely
first
wrong.
because the water gets in the way because the water. Curves.
Yeah, unfortunately, waves move, oceans move. You do get oceans that are still in level. So yeah, large bodies of water don't curve.
Yeah, they're
This is
level
why
because they
the
conform
let's
to
just say
the
the Suez
curvature
Canal
of the
debunks the
water
globe.
on the
It
earth.
doesn't curve.
That was that definition you never looked up.
We already told
How do you
what
measure
So when a
curve,
car-
dude? Seriously, how do
We
you
need
measure?
to-
So when a
many
car
times.
goes over, so when a,
Causes time.
Why
when
are
a-
you guys running away from
when a
gravity
car goes
towards
over an
mass?
overpass, when a car goes over a
Because
hill
it's not. It
and its
doesn't need
wheels
to be
disappear
there.
bottom up,
Does not need to be there. I mean, look up the steps for
Okay,
a scientific
okay, so
experiment.
so
It doesn't
predictions
say
doesn't need to be there.
hypothesis,
Okay, okay.
predictions. It
You know
says
what?
hypothesis,
Let's do it
design, and
your
experiment.
let's do it your very backwards way of thinking. There's your hypothesis. Let's design an experiment based on hypothesis. Okay.
Yep.
What information can we get out of mass attracts mass for our experiment?
If you get a
this
massive
there.
object and you hold it in with attention, and you get another
I'm
object
trying
near it,
to
it will
say
attract
How do you
that
get
object.
that from mass attracts mass?
Isn't good.
By the way, we've done the Cavendish experiment, and it doesn't work
This
every time.
hypothesis is better.
no, you haven't.
Yes, we have.
No, you haven't.
Remember, this
When?
year I'm
Where?
still planning.
Show
I'm
us.
hopefully planning to
It's
do
correct.
Cavendish 2.0
It's
this
not
year.
as accurate as
You're
Newton's
planning
was.
on it. Okay.
I just need to get the
So
right
let's
equipment.
help you design that. If you're planning on it, let's help you design that experiment. Start
I've
with a
already
very
designed it.
massive object.
I've already designed it.
Oh,
I
well,
don't
then
need
you
your
just
Show your design.
explain to us how
Show your
you're
design.
designing that experiment.
I
Since you're
don't
doing
want
that
to give it
work,
away because I want to get it peer
You're
reviewed
not
and
going to
everything.
give it
So,
away.
sorry.
Oh, you're being sneaky. Are you hiding it? Is it this little secret?
Roger,
that you
PJ,
got
how
that
long
you
have I
got
been
inside your
talking about
pants?
this Cavendish 2.0 now? Or better,
About 6
year?
months,
Correct?
6 months or so, yeah, a year. 6
You're
months.
designing it. Write down design the
I've
experiment.
already
Look at
designed it,
Cavendish
mate. I just need
experiment.
the
You
right
designed it. Write it down.
equipment. Thank you, Mr. Jingles, for your £2. Flat earthers don't get gravity, let you down. Thank you, Mr.
These
Jingles.
self-affirmations.
Appreciate the super chat. You
This
rock.
is really. I hope that helps your
Use
ego. a
this
little bit.
hypothesis. The one in chat, the one I posted in chat, you can copy and paste it right there.
Somebody asked, "Why aren't you showing
your,
the adjective?"
Oh, really?
definition
Let's
bubble?
put it on again just to show these people.
You're going a long way to avoid it.
No, I'm
Please.
not.
True.
Because
Does
we've
your,
already spoken about
Does
it.
your,
Go to the adjective.
does your Cavendish 2.0
This is all you want
have
to
anything
point
to do
out.
with a Gerens?
Conforming to the curvature
Gerens
of the
Cavendish?
liquid
No.
parts of the Earth's surface.
Okay, and what did I say exactly?
There you go.
What did I say about this? What's B?
Parallel with the plane of the horizon.
Horizontal, correct? Is that the
Sure.
same addendum?
Yeah, that's if you have a plane that's tangent
The
to the
same
curvature of the
Head
surface of
then
the Earth.
parallel.
It's horizontal.
Parallel. Oh, and
Yep.
what happens when we go?
If you
wait,
have
wait,
a
wait.
plane,
What happens when we go
if you have
back
a
up?
plane that is
What happens when we
tangent
go
to the
back
conform-
up to perpendicular with all plumb lines, and then we go back up to water seeks its own level. Oh, that tells us
Right.
that the
They
curve
all
you're looking
work.
for
They all
is
work.
zero. Welcome
There's
to
no
Flat Earth.
contradiction.
This has been discussed many
Except for the
times.
plumb
Many
levels.
times. That's
I
why I
think
don't
what
worry
they're
about it,
thinking
because you
is
are
that you've got a
literally
couple of plumb
behind.
levels and they're like 10 feet apart, and the difference between their perpendicularity isn't
Maybe
much,
you can do
isn't
better than
worth
Sean.
noting.
Maybe you can do better than Sean. Does horizontal curve?
a horizontal plane doesn't.
I'm asking
but
him,
the-
Sean.
but the-
you,
but the
you
Earth-
I think
totally-
that you can
We're
have,
talking to the other guy.
you can have two horizontal curved lines.
two horizontals parallel to each other.
I think you can have two parallel lines that curve.
No, that's concentric. That's not parallel. That's not perpendicular.
Concentric lines are parallel.
You don't have
Concentric
horizontal.
lines
You
are
can't
parallel.
have concentric horizontals.
Okay.
Correct?
They lay flat
Sure.
with no part higher and lower than the
The
other.
way that
They're
this
level.
definition is working, And by the way, dictionaries don't tell us anything about our physical world, our natural world. We
Dictionary
I
do
tell us
here.
observation
So we
works.
were more
Dictionary
appropriate
tells us
doing
how
it
physics
here.
works.
Words just don't.
But when they're talking about a horizontal surface, like a fluid marked by a horizontal surface,
The
they're
only
talking
reason
about
you
like a
guys say
fish tank.
words don't mean things is because it debunks your belief system.
It's just not how we would
Bingo.
determine whether the Earth is flat or not by looking in a dictionary. I mean, look up Earth in the dictionary.
We know what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Globers wrote the Earth's dictionary, did they not?
So then, what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
Go back.
Yes.
Go back.
Everyone is a
Because
glober, dude.
you see
The
when
only
it-
outlier is you
That's
guys.
more important. That's
And
more
90%
interesting.
of people are stupid. Dude.
You see when it
really
comes
are.
to
dictionary,
you know
it's a
why we use level in the dictionary and know it's true because we can test it, correct? Construction uses level, building houses uses level, surveying
people who
uses
believe in
level.
cars,
Practically everything uses
people who
level.
believe
and
in
what does level
cars and
contain?
who build cars,
No, I hate cars.
people who believe in cars and who build cars and who design cars all understand cars. You know who doesn't? The Amish. They disagree
What has
with
that
it.
got to do with
Everyone
what
on
you're talking about?
Earth,
What's that got to do with anything?
99.9% of the people on the Earth agree with science and physics and the heliocentric
So?
model. You guys are the Amish.
So? I'd rather be the Amish.
You do wait. You do know we were Globers before, Sean. We also used to believe this nonsense.
No, I don't know that you did.
Yeah, we did. Well,
When,
yeah, of
when
course
did
we
that
did.
change? When you got
Bearded
hit in the head
logic.
by a mule?
Bearded logic says we're confusing level with flat. Okay. Where was it? Where was it? Oh, there. Make flat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. I think the way that we use words isn't always the best approximation for what is actually going on in the whole universe. So if I've got a table and it's level because it doesn't, tip sideways or anything, and it's flat, then we can use the word level for that, right? And if we say a plane flies level over the ocean from New York to London, it follows the curvature of the Earth. So there's
No, it
two
doesn't follow
ways
any
that we're
curvature.
using those words. Words sometimes have meanings that are at odds with each other. It
Well,
just
you
happens.
see, this is the issue you guys have with flight data. This is why there's no answer to your flight data.
Oh,
And yes, I did actually watch Creaky
tell us-
Blinders
tell
latest
us,
today, and I
Flatzoid.
was laughing because
Use
when I
this.
watched it, and I wasn't supposed to watch it, but I did just to see what it is because of all everything. And he said exactly the same as Wolfie, just doing what Sean Hawkins did. You guys just insult and you give no actual rebuttal other than just insulting. So I'm going to ask you guys, without insulting us, do the horizontals change constantly around your sphere?
no. They remain perpendicular to the center of gravity, to the pull of gravity, everywhere.
Okay.
We're on
Delusion.
gravity again.
Next one. Do
Does
you believe that
horizontal
horizontals have the same horizontal right through your globe?
You can't have horizontal without gravity, man. You can't
I'm
have it.
asking the next person. You're delusional, man.
Wow.
I don't even quite understand the question. Could you try to reframe it so that it?
Okay,
makes a little more sense?
let's say you take off at the North Pole, and now you fly, and you go to the equator. Do you have the same horizontal?
I don't know what you mean by horizontal. I really don't know what
Yes,
you
you
mean.
do.
The horizontal plane that you're measuring with your
Do
gyro
you
is actually the
follow
same.
the
Yeah.
same horizontal around your globe?
I mean, a globe is
Horizontal
a
is
new
measured at a
horizontal.
point.
Horizontal is flat. So what are you asking me?
Let me do it this way.
Horizontal is measured from a datum, from a point on Earth.
Yeah, we know that, dude.
I
It's
can't
horizontal.
measure the horizontal over there right here. I can't measure that horizontal right here.
Oh, guys,
I have to go over there to measure that
I see.
horizontal.
I got the five super chats, so I have to say something you guys don't know about me.
Is that
what-
what to do with?
What don't you guys know about me?
What's your favorite flavor?
Yeah,
Favorite
rubbish.
flavor?
That's a rubbish question, Roger. Make it
Come
something
on, you
good.
guys can come up with a better question than that. What do you
Okay.
guys want to know about me that you don't know?
Have you ever killed an alligator or a crocodile?
No, but I've eaten one.
You,
They're
There you go.
delicious, aren't
You've
they?
eaten
I love-
crocodile. I didn't
I
know
actually
that.
crocodile is very delicious, by the way.
Very good.
You,
What do you mean by
one that I
horizontal?
have
Like,
on my
actually,
screen.
what do you
Okay.
mean?
Okay, so yes, let me get on screen quickly because we actually have to end the stream.
Okay.
But let me get it on screen quickly.
And I'll
Because-
answer your question. I'll be as honest as I can be.
Okay.
But I
We
mean,
get to the certain point.
the honest thing is the Earth is a globe. I don't know what you want.
No, definitely
what
not.
kind of answer you
Okay.
No.
Definitely not a globe. Okay.
You tell yourself
Is your house flat? Flatzoid? I say your house
Okay,
is
this is
flat.
going to explain it
All
to
right.
you
The
the
book I
best.
got says your house is
All
flat.
right.
This is going to explain it to you the best. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say this is their globey, and you got the runway here, and you got another runway here, and your plane is taking off of the runway here.
Mhm.
Do you see an issue if it's not following this physical curve?
It would be that way.
I think everybody
Because
What
can
have
see
you
the
done?
issue,
What have
correct?
you drawn? What have you drawn there?
Maintain
Yeah.
level.
Is that what
Because
you meant? Is
this
that
is
what you
down,
meant? Those two
this is up.
A
arrows?
downward vector.
This
the
would still
force
be
of
down.
force
This
of
would still be
gravity,
up if it's not
and
following
an
the curve.
upward vector
No.
too.
That's what,
So
No.
it physically
yeah, your
has
horizontal changes. So your
to
horizontal does change.
rotate.
Yes,
to
I'll
follow
say
the
your
curve,
horizontal
correct?
does change.
Okay, cool. So you agree
It-
the horizontal does change. So
The horizontal
pitch
changes
data-
in reference to
the pitch
in
data-
reference to outer
Oh,
space.
the
the
pitch
pitch data.
data,
Oh,
the pitch data shows there's no change in horizontal
Oh, pitch
Oh,
data.
I know why. Do you know why?
Oh,
because
please
it's flat.
enlighten us.
Bob
Quick.
tried to tell
Because
me.
the
That's right.
gyroscope
Bob
is
tried to-
built to
right.
conform to the downward vector of gravity.
Yep.
Does the
Uh-huh.
gyro does the gyro, according to a globe, keep compensating for this gravitational curve?
It's not a
Yeah.
gravitational
So
curve.
it's
but yeah.
physically adjusting for the curve.
Yes.
Where's
Yeah.
the data for this
Where's the
physical
pitch data?
adjustment?
Have you seen that video? Wolfie made a video of a
We
This
have-
is
gyroscope.
Wolfie's
we have
video we
data
were
here.
laughing at. This is
Now,
that
Wolfie
exact
made a
video.
gyroscope, turned it sideways, and then the gyroscope conformed to the vector of gravity.
This is
How
exactly
did
Wolfie's
they
video
work?
that we were laughing at.
Which video?
They have two. They have a
Lines.
lift.
That video.
And they have a gravity down.
To keep that same
And
air
Where's-
level as the Z.
when those forces
This is him playing with the
equal out,
globe.
it flies level.
Hey, can I say
And
this?
it-
Can
You
we get
laugh
into
at it
stream?
because you
We
don't
should
understand
advise
it.
If you're going to
Follow
play
it.
YouTube videos on your channel where you like get money, spend some of that money on YouTube Premium. Don't make us watch ads.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear
Get YouTube Premium. It's like $7 a month. You get
Nah,
plenty
it's
of
okay.
money from your
you. No, I don't get plenty.
donations.
I don't get plenty of money, by the way. I'm glad you think
I
so.
just watched you get like $10 while we were sitting here for an
$10.
hour.
That
That
let's
could
see. How much is
afford an
300
entire
rand?
Yeah,
month of
mine is
YouTube
the biggest.
Premium, and you won't
Wait,
need to
wait,
watch
wait.
ads
Let's
anymore.
say I got 300 rand tonight, and YouTube takes 45% of that.
You got how much?
Okay.
300 rand.
What is a rand?
That's what they use in South Africa.
Dollars, what?
That's South Africa.
20
How
bucks or
much?
something.
Well,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what the conversion
I
rate.
don't know why the
is.
people think we get so much money getting super chats and things. It's
I mean, I
not
just
insane.
watched a couple of super chats come in. It looked like it was a couple of bucks.
I think I'd rather use that money somewhere else.
Buy YouTube
more
Premium so you don't have to
needed
watch
and
ads.
worrying
I
about
don't make any
you,
money off of YouTube.
It's
I get
triggered by
YouTube.
YouTube Premium.
Get YouTube Premium. Don't watch ads.
Why don't you buy YouTube Premium then?
I do buy YouTube Premium. Of course.
Those
Who
are
wants to
You
watch
shouldn't have
ads?
ads then. So you shouldn't be seeing ads then.
No,
I'd
I'm
rather
watching
use,
your
I'd rather use
ads.
this money to pay for my restream that we're busy using the platform now. Great platform.
Okay, so you're willing to spend money on your stream so that you can
Yeah,
make
for you
the show
guys.
as good as it can be. If you if you spend a little bit more money, you'll have a much better show.
Do I tell you how to spend your
Look
money?
at my screen.
No,
So why are you trying to tell me how to spend my money?
because I want you to have a better show.
We aren't telling you how. We're just suggesting that's what your viewers would appreciate, Flatzoid.
You know what? I'd appreciate you guys actually being honest for once and actually agreeing that you guys don't have anything.
No, we've got plenty. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
the
We've
entire.
got the
literally just
entire
agreed
body
with
of
me that
science
horizontal
backing us.
change
community.
physically, and then you tell me there's no data for that, so therefore it's a curve.
We've got the entire scientific community. We've
You got
got
no
The entire
anybody
science-
who's
where?
used
Show
me the
science.
community, dude.
ever.
Okay, I got to ask you a question. How does plane maintain lift during flight? Come on,
With
break that down
the
for me.
shape of the wings.
Do you
That's why it's
understand how
called an
lift
airplane,
effect
'cause they got
works?
little
Do you
planes
understand
that-
they have to keep a pitch
With,
to
I'm
I'm
maintain
sorry, I was
Thrust?
talking
lift?
over
With
you.
high
You were
pressure-
talking over my answer to you, so could you just
I'm
repeat it?
I heard your answer. I know how wings work. I'm well aware of that.
So why
I
are you
said, how
asking?
does the
me?
how
What
does the
fuck?
lift effect work? How do they maintain flight at a speed?
There's
Correct.
a pressure differential. There's a high
Yeah.
pressure underneath,
High
low
pressure next to low
over, and
pressure
the
without a
pressure's pulled
container.
towards the low pressure, and it pulls the wing up.
So they have to
Without a
tilt
container.
the wing to get that.
No, the
pressure
wing
to
is
work.
shaped. It's got a long run over the top and a short run underneath, so it creates high pressure under and low pressure over, and the
Yeah, I
high pressure
understand. I
pulls it
understand
up.
how that works. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. So if you're trying to maintain that lift, you have to account your weight of the plane, the height of the plane from the ground, right? Those factors do matter, correct? Your speed and your height, right? So you'd have
Yes,
to
thrust, drag, lift, and weight. Or
So
the
how do you keep that
four-
horizontal? They call that pitch, right?
If you're pitched up, that's positive pitch, and pitching
Yeah,
down is
I
negative
get
pitch.
it. Now we're going to demonstrate what pitch does and why horizontals are still straight even in a pitch.
The
So they are
atmosphere is
level.
good,
But
too.
when you fly around the curve of the Earth,
Yeah, you'd have to pitch down to actually maintain that same level, wouldn't you?
No, because
Yeah, you would.
No,
gravity,
not compared to the Earth.
Because gravity.
mean,
Okay,
you've
we'll
had
go with
this
the fictional
explained to
gravity.
you.
Keep going
You're
with
just
it. Yeah.
being. You got to be
The atmosphere is
dishonest. I mean,
cooked
you've
like
got to be
this.
dishonest.
So when the plane flies, it
The air is
flies.
Tell
curved.
me.
The air
Since
is
you
curved.
knew, wait,
Luca, the air is curved.
wait, shush. Since you knew how planes work and asked me anyway, then give me the explanation I'm going to give you for why planes fly over the curve of the Earth.
They don't fly over a curve. They fly horizontal.
No, the
We have
answer is
pitch data.
gravity. The answer
We
is
have
that
pitch data
gravity
that
pulls them
proves
down,
this for
and you got a
200
vector
miles
of gravity,
plus.
and that's
straight.
one of the
Yeah.
forces of a plane. It's thrust, drag, lift, and gravity.
Yeah,
So the vector of
gravity
pulling
has nothing to do with
it
pitch
down
thrust and
means
drag.
that when it goes over the curve of the Earth,
Equal
it's
each other out,
pulling
you
down
get
in
level flight.
a perpendicular way.
And
Are you listening to me, or are you
it
just
is
talking?
I'm
a
listening
curve.
to you, but
Why?
Luke is talking
There's,
over you.
there's,
Right now.
there's like 2-3 people talking at once.
Thank you.
So,
Now I understand how pitch data demonstrates a horizontal. Well aware of it.
Thank you, Sean.
I don't have any proof for gravity. I don't have any notion of gravity. Speed and weight have everything
You
to do
don't-
with your lift.
You don't have a
That's all.
notion for gravity?
No, I don't, dude. I don't,
You don't have a
any
notion for gravity.
notion. I don't even have a
Gravity
definition
doesn't
for
exist,
it, dude.
no.
You don't have a definition for gravity? We just went over mass attracts mass.
Check
You don't
this
have a
out.
notion for gravity?
Mass
Does that word not mean what
There's
I
no
think it
proof
means?
for mass attracting mass, dude. There
Check
really
this
isn't.
out. Low pressure next to high pressure without a container. There, that's how a wing works.
No, that's
Wait, you
Bernoulli's
already-
principle.
Bernoulli's
It requires
principle?
it to be in a contained
That's
system.
high pressure next to low pressure without a container.
Requires
I
it
mean-
to be in a contained system.
I mean,
No,
hey,
it doesn't.
I'll give you the notion for gravity. So notion means a concept or conception of something. The concept
Idea.
of gravity is that things are pulled towards the Earth. They're pulled towards
That's
the
the
center.
concept, not
Understand
That's
the
the
concept.
concept. Now
Totally
you've got a
understand the
notion
concept.
for gravity.
Totally
You have it
understand the concept.
You
Completely.
No
can't
proof.
say you don't have a notion for
Just the
gravity.
concept.
You've learned it today.
Okay. Well, guys, we're gonna have to carry this conversation on tomorrow again. I have to go.
Really?
I'd appreciate you
having
guys coming on. Yeah, I think go sit back and think to yourself that what you just said was the plane physically takes a new horizontal, the gyro physically accounts for that gyro, and yet there's no
It does.
data to support that.
No, there's
Think to
plenty of
yourself
data.
why
There's
that is.
evidentiary data for that.
Just think to yourself why that is. Why something
No, the
physically
no, no.
changes
You
gives
think
no
to yourself,
data.
why is it that he's saying that there's evidentiary data for that?
There
Why
is
don't
no
I think that
data
there
for
is,
it. That's
but
the
there
point.
is?
There is. Have you seen the? Have you seen the flight data?
The fact,
Yes, I know what you're
Flatzoid,
talking. I know to
And
what
it's
you
showing
refer.
it
It
staying
keeps a,
the same.
it keeps
No
it keeps
change.
a constant height over the curve of the Earth. It's the same distance to the ground as it flies over the curve.
Let me
That's
explain
what
this
that flat
again.
line is saying.
The
There isn't a
gyro is
change in height of the plane. That's what that means.
the gyro is constantly physically adjusting.
Mhm. It does.
For gravity.
So
Yep.
can you get
gravity.
physical data for that adjusting?
Yes. Yes.
There's no data for it. That's the point.
Wolfie created a video where he bought a gyroscope that goes in a proper airplane.
I know what he did
turned
with the
it
gyro.
sideways
That's
and
not
allowed it to adjust itself because of the gravitational pull.
The fact that you don't
the flight data on
Flatzoid?
the plane doesn't show it accounts for curve. This is
The fact
point.
that you don't understand why it doesn't.
I understand
is the problem.
everything. I understand what's going on.
It's
The
baked
fact-
in.
Oh, the insanity that you got. Listen to the logic. I say that things physically take a deviation, but I have no data for that. But I say it's happening.
No, it's baked into the data, and then we have experiments to show that it happens.
There's no experiment to
Baked into
show
the
plane
data,
flies over a
and we have
curve, man.
experiments to show that it happens. Now think of your logic, where you're just in denial. You're just saying,
Yep.
nuh-uh.
The fact that you don't understand.
I know you gotta go when you're hanging out with your family, when you're doing whatever you're doing, brushing your teeth. Think to yourself, I'm in denial. I have been explained this information before, and I still say no because it's a religious belief, right? Because
No, we look at the evidence, dude. We do.
You think heliocentrism
more than
is
what our
logical?
experimental.
You think heliocentrism is logical? Oh my goodness!
It is.
Wow!
The
Oh
mere
my
fact-
goodness! Wow!
Flatzoid. The mere fact that you don't understand
No, he
why
does.
there's no pitch data is the problem.
He does know it. He's just
There
in
is
denial.
pitch data. The pitch data shows
Today, when
no
you're brushing your
deviation.
teeth, while you're
We
brushing your
have the
teeth,
shows
think
on
to
it.
yourself, I'm in denial.
There is pitch data. The pitch data shows no deviation.
That's
I know,
because
it's
the
baked
pitch
in.
data is based on
It's baked
gravity.
in. It's baked in.
No, the pitch
No,
data
it's
is
not.
based on
It
a
is baked in.
gyroscope having an inertial system.
Because the
shows
gyroscope
it's
is adjusting
staying
on the curvature of the Earth
horizontal.
as the plane flies over the curve of the Earth.
Wow!
That's why.
No curve. Sorry.
I mean, what would
Go
you
straight
expect that
horizontal,
graph to
dude.
look like?
We have
Hey,
200
Hey,
miles
real quick,
of it,
if
at
it
least.
were curved, and the gyroscope were keeping in track with the pull of gravity, what would you expect that graph to look like? Would it create a curve or a circle or go down or go up? What would it be?
The pull
Be a
of what
straight line.
again? Go ahead. Gravity?
Not my problem.
Yeah,
What would
no,
it
that's
show?
not our problem at all.
Kel.
Pitch
your
data,
problem.
please. Can you
Yeah,
show us
or
the pitch data where it's taking
Gravity pull.
this physical vector change data, please?
It's
Like I said.
changing with the plane flying over the curve. So it's
Because I can
Sitting
guarantee you, I can take a gyro like this, and if I
Mhm.
move its vector to another direction,
Mhm.
you will get data for it, correct?
yeah.
And with a plane, you don't get this. Do you understand that?
Well, that's
But
pretty
you
simple.
don't.
Great
You
concession.
don't.
Because you're moving to a different part of the Earth. If you had that
Take
gyroscope,
off in the North Pole,
Mhm.
and
No,
you
there's
end
no
up in the
airport in the North
equator.
Pole. Don't do that.
No
Just say you're taking off anywhere else.
deviation.
Curves everywhere.
No data showing deviation. You're literally in a different
Mhm.
vector. You're
It's baked
going
in.
down away 90 degrees from where you were going up when you were
What
on
do I mean?
North
What do I
Pole.
mean by it's baked in?
So let me
Sorry?
ask. Let me ask a
We
question.
know what you mean by
when you get a
baked in,
chance
dude.
to it. Let me ask a question when you get when I can. Okay.
No, he doesn't want to answer my question. You asked.
I'm
me.
trying to hear what you say. Say again.
What do I
What is-
mean by it's baked in?
It's
You
baked
mean-
in.
The equation
Mhm.
has gravity
I've
added
been
to it. What are you
saying
gonna
that
tell
for
me?
the last
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. I've been saying, yeah, that is baked in. What do I mean by that?
It's already accounted for.
So there's a fictional force you baked into it that accounts for
Wait.
relative
I mean,
density
it's a force.
How,
It
how do
affects
you
you every day.
account? Wait. How do you account for a non-data? You can't account for something that doesn't show data.
So Flatzoid, On a flat Earth, the plane flies flat and level, right? The whole way. Flat, it climbs and it climbs and it, right?
Mhm.
So between here and here, during its flight, why does the gyroscope precess? Because in order to precess, it would have to move. Like it would have to move for it to precess.
Have you ever heard of the
Doesn't.
right-hand rule?
That has nothing to do with it.
I actually got
The
something
right-hand
to
rule,
for
but
you.
it doesn't
Okay,
precess. It
Sean,
doesn't move
stop for a
out of its
second.
orientation in
I've actually
3D
got something
space.
to.
John,
Stays
John,
in its 3D space.
stop.
So there is no right-hand rule needed.
Okay, what is it processing to again? The horizontal plane you set it to when you first take off, and
It's processing.
that's the reference, right? Is that what you're talking
I'll
about?
say it.
It keeps
You
it
don't have to
horizontal
set
that
it. You
way.
don't have to
Yes.
set the gyroscope on the runway.
You do.
You can
They
change
do.
that thing
You
when you
should.
get up
On the
and get
runway.
in the air,
It's calibrated.
and you
You
can
don't
change
set
it.
it.
on the runway.
Gravity will set it.
Calibrated. It's
You
calibrated.
don't set it to the horizon. You don't set
Yes,
the
they do.
gyroscope
They
to the
calibrate it
horizon.
to the horizon on the runway.
No,
You
you
set
just
it
let
at
it
the
set
vector of
itself.
gravity. You set it so it's going
They
straight
do
up and
set
down.
it at the
That's how
runway
they
to
set.
the
That's
horizontal
how they set the
underneath.
HUD to have a reference for true horizon on the runway.
You set it up and down.
You can even ask Wolfie.
Wolfie
And
will
then
tell you you don't
as
set
you
the
go
you
over-
don't set the you don't
So
set
you
the
don't set
gyroscope
true
to the
horizon on
horizon.
the runway.
Maybe you don't. Maybe there's mountains. I don't know.
Okay.
You just set it
Okay.
so it's straight up and down.
They
Keep telling
set,
yourself that.
they set up the
yeah.
they set up the gyroscope. They turn it on. They let it speed up, and then that's how it sets itself. They don't set it to the horizon. It
They
sets itself.
spin it up
Flatzoid.
while they're on the runway, which gives their true
Right.
horizon on the HUD.
What gives
Right.
a true horizon? What do you mean by true horizon?
Planes work on true horizon, and it works on because if they don't have true horizon, they're not going to be able to know their pitch.
What do
to
you
know the
mean by
pitch, they
true
need a
horizon?
true horizon.
You're just saying we need a true horizon. What is a true horizon?
It's the reference of horizontal.
Yeah, they take it from the datum, dude. That's where they get
That's
the true
90,
horizon.
90 degrees to perpendicular. 90 degrees,
90
to the
degrees
gravity.
To a
That
parallel
makes more
plane.
sense.
Yeah, and they don't deviate from it. So let's go with something else with curved
Then
horizon next.
why do gyroscopes precess on a plane if it doesn't deviate?
Because it's mechanical, Sean.
No, you have to have a deviation out of 3D
Ever,
space for it
ever
to
heard of the
precess.
first law of thermodynamics, Sean?
You have no idea what thermodynamics are. You
Never
have-
cannot
don't have
be
a
created
clue.
nor destroyed,
You
only
do not have a
transferred
clue.
or only
Ryan
transferred or
asks,
transformed. And
We
what
aren't-
happens with the gyro?
We are
Does it
creating
spin, Sean?
energy.
Does a gyro
We are
Ryan
spin,
creating
Sean?
energy with a gyroscope.
Does a gyro spin, Sean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ryan's not in here, dude.
So it transforms and
planes.
transfers
First
that
laws of
energy to where,
thermodynamics
Sean?
has absolutely nothing to do with a
Where
gyroscope.
does it transform and transfer that energy, Sean?
It just stays put. If the plane does not precess, it won't move. If the plane doesn't move out of 3D space, it won't precess. That's physics, man. That's the God's honest truth.
You can literally put a gyro flat on the ground and it processes.
Yes, because the Earth is spinning.
No,
That's
that's
why.
a belief again. No,
Thanks,
it's
Bob.
because of the first
Thanks,
law of
Bob.
thermodynamics.
Thanks, Bob.
It's because the
Yes,
first law of
Bob showed
thermodynamics.
Bob showed the Earth spins twice.
No, it's because the
Twice.
first law of thermodynamics.
No, because the Earth spins. That's why.
What's the first law of thermodynamics?
Energy
Matter
cannot
cannot
be
be
destroyed.
created or destroyed, only transferred or transformed. Transformed or destroyed.
Why does that mean a gyroscope would precess?
Because it's mechanical. It's
doesn't.
spinning. Where does that
Mhm.
energy go to?
Yeah, it has to
Oh,
In the
dissipate
Travel
somewhere.
around.
of the
The energy has to be transferred and transformed.
Yes.
Hence why they have to keep it spinning.
Yep.
If they just spin it and stop keeping it spinning, it
Mhm.
stops. You know why? Because it uses
Mhm.
it has work done. Where does that work happen to transfer and transform
goes into
into?
the friction
Precession.
Friction, heat.
It's called
No, it doesn't
mechanics.
transfer into
It
precession.
wouldn't go
No,
into
it doesn't.
precession. It wouldn't
No.
go into
Mechanics.
precession. It would just
No.
slow down. It would slow down.
Absolutely.
It just slow down and it won't work anymore.
Yep, it would just slow
Because of
down.
Okay,
friction,
guys, I have to end
friction,
you,
heat.
unfortunately.
Oh my God. Holy crap.
I really have to go, guys. Gone over
Wow.
my time.
Holy shit, you're stupid.
See what I mean?
Yes, I know you
are.
are. But thanks for coming in,
last
Sean.
word.
Thanks, Sean.
Real last word.
Man.
But yeah, I would love you to just concede that you were wrong and that you got caught lying at
wasn't.
least 7 times
I
on the
wasn't.
stream.
I wasn't, and you proved that I didn't lie. You proved I didn't lie.
Literally brought up what you said you didn't say.
No, I said, fuck, you're a piece of shit, Flatzoid. You really are.
Love you
You are
too,
a
Sean.
fucking piece of
Does he
shit.
believe his
I
own
forgive you,
lies?
man.
Does he believe his own
You
crap?
lied about me. You proved that you lied
Doesn't
about
lie
me,
anything
and
about
then you're
you.
calling me a liar.
believes
You're a
himself,
fucking
doesn't he?
piece of
He really
fucking
believes
garbage.
himself. He really
You're a
believes
I don't
fucking
lie
piece of
about you,
shit.
Sean. But anyway,
really
again,
believes
thanks for
himself.
coming, man. I pray you get right with God.
What an asshole.
He needs help, man.
Tell you what, man, he actually believes his own crap. You said what he said. He admitted what he said. Then when you showed him it, it's like, oh yeah, I did say that, but you're a liar. What
Yeah,
the
he just
heck?
told me. Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, even that other guy that came in, he was also getting triggered because he had nothing. He was doing what Sean did, just denying and then trying to project it onto us.
I like the way he was
Sorry, I
saying
got triggered
gravity
by-
was just a concept. They don't have any evidence for it, and yet he
Sorry,
goes
But you
back
see,
to
that's
it
why we
every time.
brought up the hypothesis for their science,
Mm.
which shows they didn't have science to begin with.
Yeah. Sorry, I got triggered.
And they don't know the scientific method, obviously, because you saw they didn't even know what a hypothesis was. They didn't know that prediction is part of the hypothesis. It's like,
It's you know what they're like. I'm saying sorry, I got triggered by Sean, but it's just so vile. It does my nothing. So
Well,
vile.
I mean,
well,
think
let's
about
put it this way.
though.
Who does
we
he
can
think
give it
he
up
is?
to
Does
him.
does he think he's Samuel L. Jackson? Mofo.
Yeah, he's kind of vile, but we can give it up to him. At least he had the coolness to come in.
Well, yeah, he came in at least, but there's no need to be so
but
vile.
Poor
know?
guy. Exactly. Look at the projection. There we go, Sean. That's exactly projection from your side, man. And I'm saying this with all honesty and out of respect that I want to see you come right. Look into yourself. Get over your pride and your arrogance, man. Really, Sean, because that's all it is. You want to be right so bad that you project your dishonesty onto the rest of us.
He says things like, he pontificates. God hates liars, God hates liars, God hates liars. Honest to God, truth, honest to God, truth, God hates liars. And then comes in and profanes like that. You know what I mean?
And then says God doesn't exist. Kind of hypocritical. How can you say God doesn't exist, but in the meantime you're saying God hates liars? It's like
I have a question, guys, right quick. If you kept the gyro wound up the whole time while you're flying, you have to, correct, to keep it horizontal. It would precess due to the energy is transferring to the case.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's mechanics. It's simple entropy.
Unless that gyro is floating in space somewhere.
It's work done. It's actually taking energy and it's working, so it has to transfer or transform that energy, and that's why you get precession. It has nothing to do with gravity. That's what they want to say because they have a belief in gravity, but it's not. That's why I said right-hand rule.
Well, that's what happens when you look through blooming pseudo physics tinted glasses. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, but sorry guys, I have to go. But it was great having you guys on. It was awesome, although it was a very noisy stream. But yeah, you guys rock, and just want to say I've got big plans coming, so stay tuned. You guys rock, and see you tomorrow. Many blessings. Appreciate all the super chats, and hit those likes on the way out if you haven't already. Much blessings. Cheers. Oh, wait. First I have to read the votes out. 153 votes. Earth measurements always come from flat. 69% say yes.
Nice.
No, 25%, not sure, 6.
That's beautiful. Nice.
Shot. Oh yeah, I want to ask, you guys have a show later or anything?
I've just rescheduled. I was meant to go on today and yesterday, but I haven't felt like it. I did videos instead anyway, but I was going to go on after you, but I've just decided I'll leave it till tomorrow, so I've set it for 2 p.m. tomorrow. But I'll definitely go on tomorrow, guys. If there's any of my viewers in chat, I can't tell because I ain't got chat up.
Well, I was thinking about doing a show, but last night I got a whole bunch of vile trolls come over to my channel and start cursing and stuff.
Well, I know, yeah.
So if I have another show, I'm not going to leave a link in for people to get on.
No,
It's quite sad though. I mean, look at the behavior that we got from these guys tonight. They're very aggressive, triggered, just insulting the whole time, and not actually giving any rebuttal to anything stated.
I like their outlook on science. It disproves things instead of proving things. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, sorry guys. Cheers. See you guys tomorrow. Many blessings, and may the pressure with you. Bye, guys.
Bye.